Good evening, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones, and welcome into our weekly remote viewing show where I have a very interesting target for us tonight. We're going to go over a couple of targets, as a matter of fact, and it is the spooky season. So we're going to be focused on vampires tonight. Okay, and not only are we going to be talking about vampire cults, real vampire cults, we're going to go over the data of a missing person that you guys might be familiar with. This young lady disappeared back in 1996. She was let's just say a journalist, okay? And she was a journalist who was actually getting deep into the underbelly of New York's vampire cults and Russian mob ties and the exotic dancing industry as well. But touching on trafficking and all that. But when she went missing, a lot of people do believe that she had something to do with these vampire cults. And the data is quite interesting as to where she went. Her name was Susan Walsh. And we're going to take a deep dive into her disappearance in the underbelly of New York City. And if you guys will remember, my good friend Dinko, who is of Leaders of the New School, the hip hop group, very famous back in the 1990s and beyond. Dinko came on the show a while back and discussed knowing and meeting a real life vampire out of New York City. And there is quite the vampire population down there, I guess. So we're going to get into that. And also we're going to look into celebrity vampires as well. And, we've talked about celebrity doppelgangers, celebrity clones. Well, what if they're not clones and doppelgangers? What if these people are actual vampires and they're living off the blood of other humans? Okay, so it sounds dark, but y'all know we always have a good time talking about this stuff. And of course, I do have my good friend, Author E.D., aka Eric Testerman, here in the studio with me tonight. I did want Eric here. You know, he has a lot of experience. He is a Marine and has done work, I was going to say with the cartels, but actually it's like against, I guess, some work involving cartels and crime and mobs and things like that. So we're gonna get into that. This is almost like a true crime episode tonight involving vampires. So y'all buckle up. We've got a lot to discuss tonight. And if you guys would like to check out my archive of all of my amazing shows, I have hundreds and hundreds of shows here on my channel. And so if you guys would like to check out any of my shows, all my videos, go to my YouTube channel. Of course, they are posted on my Rumble channel. And I do have a website that is thecryptidhuntress.com. I would love for you guys to go visit my website. You can get in touch with me through the website there if you need to. And I'm always backed up on getting back to people, y'all. So sorry, I'm just super busy. And I'm a one-woman band over here. But you go to my website. All my archives are there, my social media links and all that. And my calendar of events is all there over on my website. I do make public presentations and I do make public appearances and stuff. And the next one will be the Molina Bigfoot Festival in Molina, Georgia next month on November 8th. Okay, so the data for tonight's target, I have two targets, but the one involving Susan Walsh is on my Patreon right now, along with all the information. And we're going to talk about human trafficking a little bit tonight as well. We're going to talk about missing people and some statistics. All of that is over there on my Patreon tonight. If you guys would like to become a member, thank you to all my members. It means the world to me. And also, a good way to support me and my channel is my shop on Etsy. It's called War Woman Goods. All right. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. And also thank you to all my channel members as well over at the Hunt Club. Okay. Well, let's get to our show, because we got a lot to talk about tonight. On July the 16th of 1996, 36-year-old journalist, mother, and exotic dancer Susan Walsh disappeared after stepping out of her New Jersey apartment building to make a phone call at a payphone. She was never seen or heard from again. She had been investigating and exposing New York City's underground vampire cults and the ties to a Russian mob and human trafficking. MK Ultra mind control experiments, and much more. Of course, she had the insider point of view. I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, she was an exotic dancer for a long time. She actually started doing that at a young age to help pay for her college. So who better, after getting her English degree, just like me, we both have English degrees, she wanted to be a journalist, of course. And she was doing what she knew how to do, doing it the best way she could. Okay, so before her disappearance, friends reported that she was acting paranoid, claiming that she was being followed and watched. Was her disappearance just a coincidence? Was there foul play involved? Were there secret societies involved? Vampire cults? Was the government involved? Was the Russian mob involved? Or did she just go incognito to save her own life? Well, of course, I was tasked with her disappearance as a blind coordinate remote viewing target. I do have the data tonight. We're going to discuss a lot of that data tonight. It's absolutely, I think it points to exactly what happened to her, actually. Now, by who, I'm not sure, but we're going to go there tonight and talk with Eric about this. And of course, we're also going to be talking about celebrity vampires. And let's see, I don't know. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, we have my good friend, Eric, aka E.D. Testerman here in the studio. He has his own YouTube channel. It is called The Bizarre and the Unknown. He also does weekly appearances over on Nighthawk High Strangeness channel with our good friend, William Nighthawk. And you guys, I know you love Eric and his dogs that always make an appearance on the show. You guys, please help me welcome to the show my good buddy, Mr. E.D. Testerman. Hey, Eric.
Hey, everybody. Just a heads up. Sorry, guys, in the chat. I've been trying to comment, but this chat thing is not liking me. So sometimes it's sending it, sometimes it ain't. So I'll just have to answer from here. I don't know what's going on.
It's all good in the hood, man. I am so glad you're here tonight.
Yeah,
it's been a couple weeks since I seen you. It's been a little while. It's good to have you back.
We've both been busier than a hiccup. You know, I've had a lot going on here, and you've got a lot going on too. I mean, it's just bound to happen.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, this is a perfect topic tonight, I think. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this case. I wasn't really familiar with it too much. I remember hearing about it until I found out what my targets were. It's always fun getting a reveal of all my targets. And there's one of the doggies right there.
Yeah.
What a cutie.
Oh my gosh. The other one's running around. My youngest moved back in last night, so he's saying hi to her, running around doing his little thing.
Oh my gosh, we love your dogs, Eric. We do.
Yeah. There's a rat dog.
Cutie. Okay, well, so this was revealed to me what this was, and I thought, well, you know, this is actually a good target to do. First of all, I'm one of my favorite things to do. I know it sounds kind of crazy, right? One of my favorite things is learning that I've had missing persons remote viewing targets. Okay, and it happens sometimes. Okay, it's not always, but when I first started remote viewing, I was oftentimes given high priority targets that were cold cases and missing people, and occasionally I still get those today. And this is one of those, Eric. And so I think it's a good time. I mean, I know it's kind of dark. It's kind of the vampire season and stuff, and this does involve a vampire cult. And so I thought it was a good time to discuss this one tonight. Are you familiar with this case? I know I sent you a link about Susan
I've actually
Walsh.
heard this case. I've actually heard this case a long time ago. I don't remember if I was in the military when I heard about it, or it was after. As soon as you said it and I read it and I went, oh yes, I remember this. Yes. Yeah, it's intriguing. I mean, even back then when it first came out, they were screaming vampire cult. That was tied to the Russian mafia, is what they were saying was going on with her disappearance.
Oh yeah, well, it's really wild because there's this whole element of it being of her being a journalist. Okay, and now I will get into the history behind her a little bit and kind of like how she started and exactly kind of how she got into the dancing aspect of it, and then get into writing. and working at these different newspapers, magazines, and things like that, being a journalist and having that insider information, which is always good. And I think it's pretty creative taking that angle, but she was really dancing. I was going to say dancing with the devil. Okay. She was really in there exposing some very dangerous people, Eric. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, she was a part of that lifestyle as being an exotic dancer. I made a mistake or two in my lifetime by possibly dating a couple of them before. So I mean, they're into some dark places with quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh my gosh, y'all! I'm just seeing these right here. Thank you so much. Let me take a quick commercial break. Peanut butter and jelly. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for the super sticker. I do appreciate your support, and I hope that Peanut and Jelly are doing good tonight. I think that's your dog's names. Formerly Boo the Beagle. Yes, thank you so much for that, Jason. I do appreciate it. And Kent says, "Hi, Jessica. How's our new movie star doing today?" Oh my God, you're so silly. Thank you, Kent, for your support. I appreciate it. And actually, Kent is referring to a little vignette, a little appearance I've made in a documentary called The Vanished, and it's about missing people, as a matter of fact, and some remote viewing I've done on a case out of the Great Smoky Mountains. Okay, so the Dennis Martin case. So thank you, Kent. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, I do enjoy getting these remote viewing cases of missing people. If nothing else, to kind of help with if the family's still looking for these people, right, Eric? I mean, wouldn't you want to know? Like, I would use all the options I had if I had a missing loved one, as far as even psychics go, So,
well, so I mean, and this stuff is I wish I could find the old file. I had a file from the hoo-ha people there in Florida. Customs out of Florida. And on their paperwork, they said, I think it was like 5 vampires coming into the U.S. And that was on a U.S. Customs form in Florida. So, I mean, ever since then, I found that when I was in the military. This stuff, it's real. It's out there. Now, Nolan's, Nolan's gets a big rap on vampires, but they're actually all over the world in most major cities. It's just Nolan's gets the most of it.
New Orleans. Yes. In case anybody's wondering, it's New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah. If I ever said New Orleans around my buddy Chris Gentry, he'd get pissed. Daggone, it's not New Orleans, that's Nolan's.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Well, it's I've been to New Orleans, and it's got a whole other energy to it. It's got a kind of a creepy vibe. I don't know. See, the problem with me was I was wearing a Falcons jersey in the middle of the Saints territory, and so I was not very well liked around Bourbon Street. Okay. So, but it's all good. It is what it is. It is what it is. Go Falcons. Okay. But I'll never forget that. I was like, man, that was a bad idea. That was a real bad idea. But anyways, so the vampires. Okay. Now, when you said that that 5 vampires had come to the U.S., are you talking about recent and modern day? Or are you talking back in like the early 1900s?
That was the early 2000s.
What? Wait, can we talk about that just a little bit more? I don't know. I've never heard that.
It was somewhere around 2003, 2004. I was scrolling around on let's just say, company computer, and came across the U.S. Customs forms admitting 5 vampires into the United States. And I can't remember the whole detail. I mean, it's been a long time since I read it. I'm trying to find it. I know I had the file saved at one time, but between 2 ex-wives and a lot of moves, I don't know whatever happened to the file. But I was in the Marines. I was in the Marines when I found it, and I was just sitting there on the company computer like I normally did because I had top secret clearance back then, and I was just fiddle farting around looking at stuff, and I was like, "What the hell?" I was always like, well, I was back then. I was always the type of like, oh man, I wonder if vampires are real or not. I just never knew. And then lo and behold, I came across this U.S. Customs form admitting 5 of them in. I can't remember where they're from. I mean, I could lie to you all day long. I don't remember where they're from. They admitted 5 of them in. It was 3 males and 2 women. I remember that much. And I was like, holy shit. I mean, this is on a U.S. document, a U.S. government document. So
yeah, that's wild. That's really wild because, I mean, we're going to get into this in a little bit, but like there's some people, and there's one guy in particular that I follow, and sometimes I don't agree with him at all. And sometimes I completely am just flabbergasted at this, at what he presents to the public. And there's this guy on social media, and I don't know, you either love him or hate him. I like him sometimes, and then sometimes I'm like, I don't know, dude. But it's called the Fittest Flat Earther. Okay, that doesn't mean that I believe in flat Earth or not, y'all. I'm not gonna say either way. But he has this, shout out to him. Okay, whatever his name is, he's pretty cool. But he has taken a lot of, I follow him on Instagram, and he takes these celebrities, and we're gonna get into this more towards the end of the show, but he takes these celebrities, and a lot of celebrities who have died, okay, and we mourn their death, and we think they're gone forever, and then we have these new celebrities that pop up, and maybe they have more tattoos on their face or something, you know what I mean, and or they look similar to these older celebrities, and we've discussed this on my shows. We think maybe they're clones or doppelgangers, but actually he's presenting evidence that it's the exact same people playing different roles, even from way back in history, with their birthmarks, their freckles, blemishes on their skin, and with a little bit of lip filler and injections and a nose job and brow lifts, chin implants, whatever. I mean, could these people, his argument at this point is, because I'm always trying to figure out what is going on with this, he has presented evidence at this point recently that these are actual vampires. And I've been following him for a while, and I was waiting for somebody to finally come out and say it. And he's like, no, they are blood drinking, eating, human flesh eating vampires, he said. And Eric, I want to say that Roseanne Barr came out. Do you remember this? She came out, she was like, all these celebrities are a bunch of vampires.
Well, she's not the only one that said that.
Yeah.
What's his name? Mel Gibson. I think it was the one that was talking about Christopher. Oh, what is his last name? He's always playing a villain in most all the movies. Anyways, he was talking about how he was floating into the hotel room, and I remember what floor they were on. He floated in and stuff like that. He's even came out and said they're vampires.
There's something going on. Okay, I mean, we do live in the Truman Show, but like, is it way more sinister even than just being lied to about stuff? Are we really surrounded by a bunch of vampires?
Walking,
maybe
I think
so.
that's it. Yeah, I think we are. I mean, there's just too much out there to suggest that we're not. Now, I mean, there's different types of vampires. So which ones are messing with us and which ones ain't? That's the question. But yes, you guys are right. Christopher Walken. Thank you, Maureen, and everybody else who said it in there. Yes, Christopher Walken. That was the guy. I believe it was Mel Gibson, if memory serves me correctly. Hey, boy. It was Mel Gibson who said that Christopher Walken.
So you got a vampire loose in there. Got a vampire. Oh my gosh. Eric loves his pets, y'all.
Sorry,
it's so amazing. Is that your kitty?
One of them.
It's mine. You see how?
Yeah. It's got a fat piece. Keep an eye on her. She may have got.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we're actually going to be talking tonight, you guys. We're going to talk about Nicolas Cage. Y'all know that I did that remote viewing a while back of Nicolas Cage, and we're going to talk about that remote viewing target and some more. Okay, toward the end of the show tonight or in the middle at some point. But yeah, Christopher Walken. I remember hearing about that too, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not sure if you and I talked about it.
I've talked about it on William's show. William and I covered it quite a bit. Roseanne Barr, Mel Gibson, and there's some others that came out and said the same thing about all these guys and all the evil crap that they're doing in Holly Scrooge. And so, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. And so, I was always question on those pictures: is this AI related? Because I'm going to look at this as an investigator point of view. Pictures are pretty compelling. They're awesome. We have a major hiccup when we're doing research. That's called AI. AI is a great thing, but it's a great hindrance as well.
Man, it sure is.
I'm not sure.
It sure is. Well, Tyler Hansen, that's what his name is. Thank you, Robin. Robin put it up on the screen. I put it on the screen. She put it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
That's that guy's name. He's the fittest flat earther. I don't know. His channels keep getting taken down. I know that. His stuff is getting like demonetized and stuff. So he's on to something. I'm just saying. This is for entertainment purposes only tonight. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Entertainment only, y'all. For sure. So anyways, when that starts happening, it's time to pay attention. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Time to pay attention. Yeah. And I can appreciate somebody putting in the work. Okay. Putting in the work to try to figure it out. Kent says vampire reptilians. Yes. Maybe so.
That's a possibility. Yeah. There's many different types. Yeah.
Yes. And that whole thing that rhymes with Google Chrome that starts with the A as well. The Google Chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That as well.
That's a rumble. That's a rumble discussion. That will get you in trouble.
It's a rumble discussion.
That's a big thing.
Okay. Well, this whole show is probably a rumble discussion actually, but we're going to go ahead with it. Okay. And because this is something that, I don't really back down from talking about uncomfortable topics, as you can tell. And this one right here is a little risque. I guess you can say a little risque. And not only are we going to be diving into like the Russian mob a little bit, the mafia, the New York underground underbelly scene, even cannibal clubs and stuff might be connected to this as well. And so let's get into this. Let me show everybody. I'm going to show you guys who we're talking about tonight. Okay. This is Susan Walsh. We still don't know where she is. There's been no sign of her. She's not shown up. She disappeared, and there are different ideas as to like what happened to her. Okay. The majority of people believe that she is probably dead. Okay. She was probably taken out by the Russian mob is what people assume, or an ex-boyfriend. She had stalker boyfriend. She had a seedy past. Okay. With drugs involved and all that. And if I have to spell out words, y'all, it's because of YouTube. Okay. So if you're wondering, not because I have a kid in the room, it's because of the nature of the beast tonight, y'all. Okay. But anyways, let's show some pictures here. And yes, Steve, it's for entertainment purposes only. Oops. Hold on. I'm trying to get that one up. But for real though. Okay. So this is Susan, y'all. And here, I'm going to first pull up this picture of her. This is a pretty picture of this lady. Okay. So since childhood, of course, this Susan Walsh, she wasn't born Susan Walsh, but that's her married name. And she wanted to be a writer. And she attended college at William Patterson College. She's from New Jersey, born and raised. And she started working as an exotic dancer. It was to help pay her college off. Okay. And by the time she graduated from college in 1984, she had gone to rehab. She had gotten sober, and she was sober for about 11 and a half, almost 12 years. And so she married Mark Walsh. And in 1988, she gave birth to her son. She had a son named David. She never gave up on writing, though, and she worked as a journalist for a while and started writing for scientific trade journals in 1990s. Her marriage was deteriorating, and they split up. And they both continued to live in the same apartment building. She and her husband, I think he lived on the bottom floor, and she lived on the top floor. And so she began dancing again. This is her. I'm not sure which one is. I don't know if that's Mark right there, but I think she only had one son. Okay, from the research that I found, but that's her. This is her. This is one of the dancing pictures, probably. Okay, so we won't keep that one up very long, but nonetheless, that's Susan, y'all. And so she worked as an exotic dancer to help her journalism career. Actually, she obtained an internship at the Village Voice, an independent New York City newspaper, and she used her connections in the dancing and exotic dance industry to fuel some of her stories. And they involved, one of her biggest stories she ever did involved Russian mobsters forcing women to work like slaves in New York City strip clubs. Okay, so that was her claim to fame at first in the journalism market in New York City. And it earned her critical praise. And one of her boss at the Village Voice said that she was an incredibly hard worker that went to extreme lengths to cover a story. But of course, after this article was published about the ties to like trafficking and the mob, the Russians, and these women, the women being trafficked in New York at these clubs, she was scared for her life, Eric. And I think I would be too. I don't think I would have, I'd have a hard time doing an article like that and having it published and staying in that town. Okay. First of all. But she became very paranoid. She believed she was being watched and stalked, and she started receiving threats and told her friends that she was being followed. Okay. So she was scared about that. Now there's that. Now she moved on after that story to investigating underground vampire cults. I mean, what better way to, get in there deep and get into she's already in kind of the underground scene. And they say that they were all kind of connected, Eric. And you would know from working with criminal cartels and stuff when you were a Marine. It's all connected. The DRUGS, okay, the trafficking of that and the humans, the underground clubs, dancing, exotic dancing, and probably vampires and all that. I mean, I would think the trafficking would involve even body. I mean, I hate to say like body parts and stuff too. I mean, all sorts of different types of trafficking.
It is.
I would think.
Yeah, it's any part of the human body is trafficked. Any part of it.
Yeah. Gosh, that is so sad. It's really sad, but it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. All of them are. Okay. And I know because I used to, when I worked for the Women's Commission, when I was a director of an agency for women back in my former life, I worked with Street Grace and I worked on some committees and stuff. We were always doing programs. We had to deal with human trafficking, especially with women. We have a huge sex industry in Atlanta, and I learned about that the hard way from having to I mean, I didn't have to, but I did. It's part of what I did, actually, being a women's advocate. But having to learn about it was tough. Very tough.
Stuff over, dude.
There's another dog. Dog number 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dog man.
Oh my gosh, you're a dog man. Okay, so after this like super successful article that she wrote about the Russian mob and the trafficking that was going on in New York, she decided to investigate these vampire subculture in New York City. And she got so deep into it. She loved it. Okay. Yeah. From what I was reading, she absolutely loved it. And she became so deep into the subculture that she started dating a man who claimed to be an immortal vampire. Okay. Yeah. And she ended up submitting an article to the Village Voice on it, but it was rejected because it didn't have any like facts that they could point down, they could pin down. It just had her objective ideas and things like that. So they didn't want to publish it. So she needed to make money. She wasn't making any money if they wouldn't publish her articles. So she went back to dancing again. And I'm sure that when she went back, every time she go back into dancing, she'd get back on the DRUGS again. And it was just a pretty vicious cycle. You know what I mean? And
yeah. Well, and that's a sad but honest truth about that. I've seen that way too many times. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. It was my pleasure, man. I mean, and I've seen it because I've dealt with individuals of a not so glamorous reputation from around this world.
Okay.
And I can tell you every single one of them's involved in everything that you're talking about right now.
Really?
It's a huge money maker. It's been around since the dawn of mankind. And I hate to put it this way, but it's not going to go away. I mean, there's just way too much money. It's way too easy to get it done. I mean, even back in the pirate days, you know, very common for someone to get shanghaied. Shanghaied means you got knocked out, and next thing you know, you wake up on a ship. You got shanghaied. You know, this stuff happens. Now, is it vampire related? Not all of them, but it's kind of easy to get your feed if somebody disappears. You know, nine, stop. This is what I deal with, folks, every day. um, you know, it's one of those things. But you know, you think about the homeless people that's out there. Think about people that's not of virtue, I guess you can say, that's out there. I mean, people of the night, people that do nefarious things.
Yeah.
They come up missing, and nobody's really going to bat a big eye at it. Either they barely do a wink at it, or don't do a wink at all. Perfect food source. It really is. Blood
Ugh.
banks is a good way to harvest it. I mean, but fresh from the veins is pretty dang tasty, from what I understand. So people like that's going to be a target.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, something that I noticed. I just got back from Florida. Okay, and no shade to Florida at all. I love Florida. Okay, I wasn't. Orlando's a special place. Let's just say that. I'm just gonna say Orlando's a special place. But anyways, when I was down, what was it like? Where was I? I was near St. Pete or somewhere. I don't remember, but I just remember a couple years ago when I was down there. Every corner, every shopping center had a blood bank, plasma bank. I was shocked. I had never in my life seen anything like that ever. With all of the blood banks everywhere, you could just go in. Of course, people get paid to donate blood at those places, but they were everywhere. I was like, you know, there's got to be something more than just like being in a place where people can go get money. There's something more to it. It was weird. I don't know. What do you think about that, Eric? What do you think about these blood banks? I mean, it was excessive.
It is, and it makes you wonder. You know, what was that movie? It was what was it, Blade, that first brought that to the attention about blood banks and vampires, and it really got me thinking. Is that's an easy way to get it and be off the radar and not draw a whole lot of attention to you. And you stop and think, oh, we use this for making medicine, or we use this for saving lives. As many blood banks as there is, you're telling me, I mean, blood's not going to keep for a whole, even refrigerated. It's going to go bad. So you're sitting there going, you're taking all this blood. What else you doing with it? There's something else you're doing with it, because there shouldn't be no reason for how many's out there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Maureen says Orlando's a hot mess. It's something. It's something down there. I had fun while I was down there. I didn't leave the hotel much, so but I had fun. So shout out to Orlando. Okay. Hey, Sovereign. He says vampires equal reptilian wolves. Interesting. Well, you know, one of my favorite movies of all time is Underworld. Okay, like the Underworld. Is it a trilogy at this point? I don't know. But that's a great movie, and it's the lichens and the vampires, basically. And yeah, you'll have to watch. You'll have to check that out. Okay, so she went back to dancing. Okay, let's get back to Susan. I'm sorry, y'all. I get off on tangents sometimes. So so she was a graduate student. She was actually I don't know if she actually got her master's, but she was getting her master's in New York University, and she was often writing about her experiences in the sex industry. Okay, and so right before her disappearance, she actually was in a documentary. There's all sorts of documentaries you can find online about her and actually with her in them. And this one was called Stripped. It was produced by her friend, filmmaker Jill Morley. And she talked about a stalker that she had. And she referenced a relapse from her sobriety at that point, too. So she was actually back on, I think they said Xanax and stuff like that. She had been into some hard drugs as well. Okay. But she suffered from mental illness as well as alcohol, like different types of addictions, including alcohol. And she'd quit taking her bipolar medication as well right before her disappearance. too. So I'm only saying all this to lead up to like what happened to her. Okay. Like what could have happened to her. She just disappeared off the face of the earth. And a lot of people were saying that she was mentally unstable. And at some point they did say that her wrist had been slit. She slit her own wrist and she had bandages on her wrist at some point. And she had tried to harm herself. And also she was taking tranquilizers. She was drinking. And I hate bringing this kind of stuff up. I know it's like, it's almost like defaming the person before they die. Like that happens with some of these suspected dogman attacks and stuff. It's like, oh, well, they were just drinking. They were drunk and they were buying drugs or drugs. And, and they always want to throw that in there. Okay. To let you know they were unstable. But Eric, here's the thing. I'm only bringing this up with her because she's gone and nobody knows where she is. We have to look at all the different avenues. Okay. So that's the only reason I'm bringing all this up, y'all. But she was involved with several different men at the time of her disappearance as well. She had a few boyfriends. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's an issue too. Because there's, we all know about jealousy and envy and, somebody could have found out that she was seeing somebody else and got mad, and it could have been that as well.
Somebody some money, which is a big one.
Yes, and there was a man named Christian Peppo. It was a 21-year-old man. She was 36, I think, at the time, and he was living with her at the time of her disappearance, and he was actually watching her son when she disappeared. And okay. Well, let's just get into her disappearance, okay? Because we're going to find out, was she taken by a vampire cult and what happened to her? The data is pretty cut and dry. I think I kind of know what happened to her, okay? I think, through the data. But this is for entertainment purposes only. It's only data, so don't take this as the end-all be-all, y'all, please, okay? But around noon on July the 26th of 1996, she left her apartment to take a phone call. She went to a payphone. Now, I don't know about you, Eric. I remember payphones. You and I are about the same age.
Oh, God, yeah.
We used to always use payphones, and we get a beep on our pager. Remember those? And go check out a payphone in the middle of town. But she left her 11-year-old son with David, her son David, with Christian, I guess is her boyfriend at the time. And she told her ex-husband, Mark, who lived downstairs from her, that she needed to contact her agent who booked her job doing exotic dancing. She needed to borrow his phone, and he would not let her use his phone because he didn't want her using the phone for the purposes of the exotic dancing and things like that. So let's see, sometimes he would let her use her phone, but he didn't that day. And so she left the apartment. She left all of her belongings, including her wallet, ID, and her pager. I had a pager, y'all. I had several pagers. I had a turquoise pager that was see-through. That's how old I am. Okay. But Susan's friend, Melissa, became concerned when she failed to return a page that afternoon, where normally she would have responded to her pages. So she drove over to Susan's apartment around 3:30 that day, and she found the door to Susan's apartment was unusually left open, where it's usually locked and it's shut. And her windows were locked shut, and it was 90 degrees outside, which I don't know if she didn't have an AC in her house or something. But they thought that was unusual that her windows were shut.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark and David were not home when Melissa got there. Instead, having gone to Staples to buy school supplies, Mark and David both stated they didn't know where Susan was. And an employee of a pizza parlor across the street from Susan's apartment said he saw Susan returning to her apartment the afternoon she disappeared. So he said that he saw her go back. And she was reported missing by her ex-husband, Mark, who lived downstairs, on July the 17th around 12:15 p.m. Now, there's no phone call records available for that payphone that she was supposed to have used. And police determined that her ex-boyfriend with the restraining order had not violated this order. And I believe that boyfriend's name was Billy, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to get into him in just a minute. But there was really the police found no wrongdoing with anybody in this case. No wrongdoing. They couldn't find anything. And they said that Christian that lived with her was watching a movie with Susan's son David the day of the disappearance. and waiting for a bus from New York City to go to work. And there's just all these different possibilities as to what happened to her. She was never seen again, Eric. Never.
Mhm.
But see, she had been working as the journalist exposing the mob ties to the trafficking and the vampire cults. Those were the two big things. Okay. And
And I'm kind of curious if we can do a Freedom of Information Act on that, if it's still an open case or if it's finally closed. Because if it's still open, we won't be able to do it.
yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting to know. Definitely be interesting. I bet somebody's done that. Surely somebody, if the case is closed, they may just keep it open. I mean, we look, I ain't no spring chicken. I wasn't born yesterday. And I know there's a lot of corruption, especially in NYC. There's got to be in state, local, and all the governments. Okay. I used to work in government. And I know how slimy folks can be, politicians. I love some politicians and I don't like some of the other ones. Okay. I've been in the thick of it. So I know. I'm a little, kind of have some insight on that. And so they would keep a case open if there were some kind of, I'm not saying there's mob ties with the police departments, but could there be? And maybe there's a reason they don't want this case to be looked into too much. There's always that possibility, right, Eric?
Yeah, that's a sad but true fact right there. There's good ones and there's bad ones, no matter where you're dealing with. On the Leo side or the political side, there's good and there's bad. Everybody, there's always ones that's getting their palms greased. I can't talk about one on here because it might get you in trouble, but he was one of the most famous politicians. One of the last ones to actually get impeached, even though he wasn't in office no more, and he made a bunch of money off a certain individual from South America.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay.
That stuff happened.
Well, and then you throw in the idea of the vampires and even like reptilians running our governments and stuff like that. Okay, I know it's not a stretch here on the Cryptid Huntress channel by any means, but we are talking about vampire cults, and I have actually been warned. I'm not even going to get into that, but I have been encouraged. I'm going to say encouraged to not really dive too deep into some of these vampire cults when it came to some of the cryptid related stuff, because it's a real threat apparently. Okay, it's a real threat. So we're not going to get too deep into these vampire cults tonight. We are going to talk about it. Okay, and I ain't scared.
No,
but still.
What tree was it that Judas hung himself from? Was it the ash tree, the elm tree? Anyways, whatever tree that was is actually the true wooden stake that you can unalive a vampire with. So you want to dive into it, get you one of them tree limbs.
Get a tree limb?
Yeah, from whatever tree that was that Judas hung himself from. I can't remember if it's an ash tree or an elm tree or which one it is. I'll have to look it up. It's been a little while, but it's not just a normal wooden stake like people think. It's actually that type of. That's one of the major theories out there on unaliving them is you got to have that style wood as a stake or silver. Burning them, cutting their heads off, burning them, a couple other different ways.
I know. I need a flamethrower. That's what I want for my rucksack, for my bug out bag. Everybody needs a flamethrower. Not everybody, actually.
I need
just me.
Get that one that says not a flamethrower. I want not a flamethrower.
Oh man, I definitely want a flamethrower. That's on my list of things to get here. And maybe Santa Claus will bring me one. I don't know. We'll see. We're all gonna need one if we have a zombie apocalypse. I'm just saying. Okay. Well, anyways, okay. So there's all these different things that could have happened to her. Okay. 100%. I know we're just talking about like the mob aspect or the politician, the political aspect behind all this too. And yes, there's always that. There's always that. And anyone like Kent had said, I saw that the dark doesn't want the light to expose what's going on. And we are in the age of like things being exposed right now. We're in the era of things being exposed, basically, and light being shed on a lot of stuff, including a lot of corruption. And so, I mean, I hope that her case is solved at some point. I really do. And let's see. I made some I did some handwritten notes here. So the Russian mob could have taken this woman. Okay, they could have put a hit out on her. Okay, that's like the number one go-to explanation as to what happened to her. All right. Well, also the vampire cult. Okay, she had a boyfriend who was claimed to be an immortal vampire. We're talking about like she was deep in it. She was talking about how they do all these rituals. It's very dark, lots of blood drinking, but really dark black magic stuff was going on there. I mean, maybe even I didn't read about the cannibalism, but I know that goes on in New York. As a matter of fact, now I was told, like I wasn't told, I read somewhere that this is fake. But I'm going to pull this up on the screen so everybody can see it. This is called the Cannibal Club. And the word on the street was this was actually some sort of a project for, they said it was a project for some type of web design class. But here's the thing, that's not a very fancy web design right there. So I don't know. Was it for high school? I mean, I'm just saying. I don't think my high school would have allowed me to make
project.
that. Maybe
it might have been high school. I was thinking it was a college project, but it might be a high school project.
I don't know. I mean, it could be all fake. Why, but it doesn't mean that there's not real cannibal clubs. Okay. That doesn't mean anything, honestly. I mean, it could be fake. I think it's interesting to get the conversation going. Okay. Even if it's fake or not. Okay. So let me take this off the screen. If I can figure out how, there we go. My screen has changed on StreamYard. Okay. But anyway, so we've got stuff like that. We had my good friend Dinko who showed up on the show one day, and we talked about cloning rappers and stuff like that. He was in Leaders of the New School, Lawns out of New York, Long Island, represent. Okay. Shout out to LIB if he's in the house tonight. But he was talking about how he had played, I think he said he played pool with a vampire, a real vampire. Out of New York. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. He was kind of dazing out a little bit as he thought about it. I was like, man, this is for real. I've never seen him do that before. So, but anyways, I could tell that it was pretty upsetting to him with some of that. And, but anyways, all right. So the vampire cult, she was real deep into that. Mm-hmm. And also her boyfriend, Billy Walker, he was an ex-boyfriend. He worked for the mob. Okay. And he used to brag about how he chopped up bodies for the mob. I mean, yeah. Hey, baby, you want to go on a date? Guess what I do for a living? I mean, that's what he's. And but she had actually. I guess there's some people that think that's sexy. I, however, do not. Don't bring that to me. If somebody says that to me, it's quittance. Just kidding. It's quittance, as Long Island Bigfoot would say. But that's weird. Okay, and so she was actually planning to expose him, Eric, and so that's another avenue right here. And then of course, let's see, some people think that maybe she had an accidental overdose and she died, and someone panicked and then disposed of her body. Okay, so that's the other thing. Those are pretty much the avenues that we got right there. Okay, mm-hmm. And I guess. Why don't we just get into like the remote viewing data now? Okay, because we got other stuff to talk about tonight too. I don't want to keep everybody here all night. It's a work night, school night, and stuff. My son is out for fall break this week. You don't have to work tomorrow?
It's my Friday. No, it's my
good.
Friday.
Okay, well I don't have to get up early either, so maybe we can't. I mean, I'm not saying we need to go late tonight, but Ben's out of school.
Let's go.
It's party time.
Mom's
out of town.
Hashtag. Can I pet that dog? If you.
Time to party. Y'all put your party hats on. Here we go. Okay. All right. So let's get into the remote viewing data. The remote viewing target is the disappearance. I guess it's like what happened what happened to Susan Walsh when she disappeared. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so this is for entertainment purposes only. And I don't want do not use this as pure fact and like not in a court of law, y'all. This is just remote viewing data. And I have to be careful when I talk about people who are missing. live on air and things like that. I think it's out of respect for the family. I think that's important. Of course, I've done plenty of targets, especially with my friend Bryce over at Esoteric Atlanta. She's given me a lot of missing person targets and stuff. And I've been contacted by families of those people, like Mara Murray. I was contacted by a representative of her family because my data was on target for that, apparently. Okay. And so this, I don't know if this is going to have, I don't know. We're just going to go with it. All right. So this is the disappearance. Now we're wondering if she was taken out by the mob maybe, or vampire cults or something else. Okay. So here's the data. Okay. So with the data, my sensory data, Eric, here we go. The first word I wrote down, terminated. That was my sensory data. That was the first word I wrote down for this. This is a blind target. Terminated, lyrical, musical, advanced, up, down, escaped, fluid, and flew. Okay. And my analytic overlay data. I wrote down, I was hearing the name Billy or Billing, something like that. And I wrote Terminator. And I was picking up on, I wrote down advanced stages. I wrote down Opus or Opus. I don't know how you pronounce that, but Opus. I wrote an OPHUS. So I don't know. Opus. And I wrote crescendo, concert, concerto, and a concerted effort. That was all in the data. It's kind of like peacocking, like on one word. So it was like a concerted effort.
How do you spell that? Opus?
I wrote OPHUS, maybe OPUS. I don't know. But I wrote OPHUS. It may be OPUS. I did not take the time to look that up. So
no, that sounds familiar. That's what caught my attention. I want to look that up while you're continuing.
Okay. Yes, you look that up. That'd be wonderful. Oh, that's very interesting, Master Light. Sometimes the mob works for the cults. Absolutely. They're all in concerted effort together. It's a collective effort. And I wrote concerted effort. That's what I wrote down. And some of the next stuff that I wrote down was members in memory escape room. And then I heard what I thought was run, run, run. But it could have been like an engine. I was also hearing an engine roar. So I was like, run, 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 like that. But I was hearing something that was like, run, 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 or run, run, run. And so I wrote run, run, run. But it could have been an engine. What is it? What is the definition for that? What? Oh,
Opus
God.
can refer to several things. The last name of a person like researcher Colin Opus, or surname possible Scandinavian origins, or likely misspelling of opus, a term for a significant artistic work, often a musical composition. The user likely meant opus or opus, which refers to people and surname.
Well, I was picking up on a concerto, right? Concerto, a concert, and then I was like a concerted effort. Okay.
Yep.
But I thought it was just like piggybacking or peacocking is what we call that in remote viewing. Okay. So I heard run, 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 or rum, rum, rum. Okay. And I wrote that down. And then I wrote down motor vehicle. So this is going to come up a couple of times in this data, motor vehicle. Okay. It's not the last time you're going to hear about this motor vehicle. And I wrote, I'm just going to go through all this data. Okay. Because if somebody's watching that might know her or something, I don't know. Here's my data. Okay. So I picked up on a motor vehicle. I wrote flew across, hit, kidnappers. Okay. Kidnappers. And then I wrote evangelist, evangelical, and a front man. Okay. So that was all in my data. And for my drawing, I actually drew a stop sign. Okay. So I was definitely picking up on some kind of traffic, car, some kind of vehicle, 100% vehicle data. All right, let's go to stage 4. Oops, upside down. Okay, so
I think opus refers to something else. That sounds so familiar.
Opus, yeah, it's that's the way I spelled it. OPHUS. That's what I wrote down on my paper.
Damn, it sounds familiar.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just that really stuck out to me. Is that I remember it from something.
Okay, it is Cowie has it written out right here. That's what was written on my paper. Okay, so On the next page, the first thing I wrote down for analytic overlay, because I had just written down a front man, evangelist or evangelical, and then I wrote down hitman, hit list. This is a blind target, y'all. It's wild. Hitman, hit list. And I wrote what I was seeing was a dark alleyway. It looked like a dark alley, and I wrote down, I drew it out, and I was like a dark alley with like houses or some kind of like buildings on one side. And I wrote, this is terrible. I wrote, so my sensory data was like hurting and throbbing and like, I don't know. I'm not going to say all of it. Okay. But it was like something was hurting. Somebody was hurting. Okay. And I wrote down dark alleyway, and I heard watch out, watch your six. And then I was seeing an infinity symbol, and I drew this infinity symbol, and I wrote infinity, infinite, an infinity car. Okay. So I was like clearly seeing an infinity type car. I was seeing the emblem for an infinity car. I don't know, because the infinity symbol is actually like not an infinity symbol for infinity, right? I think it's more like a triangle or something, like a pointed.
Yeah,
thing.
I can't remember. Yeah,
I don't remember, but I think it's more like it's not an infinity sign, but I was seeing an infinity symbol, and that's when I wrote down an infinity or an infinity car. But I was definitely picking up on a vessel or some sort of a vehicle.
yeah. Say it's either what got rid of the body or what snagged her up.
Yeah, so I picked up on a hit list and a hitman. Okay, so that's on page 4. I mean, that's page 2. Sorry, stage 4, page 2. And then I've got another page. This is not good. Okay, I'm just gonna say this is not good. Okay, whatever happened to her, I'm going to just go ahead and say she's dead, probably. Yeah. I'm going to say, according to the data, she did not survive. Okay, and I don't know how much of this I need to say on air. Okay, but let's just say I wrote not good on this back page several times. Okay, like not good. I just kept writing not good. Something's not good here. And it even comes into like a disposal. Okay. Alienated, hidden, and crushed is what I wrote down. Not good. I got really sick when I was doing this data. And let's just say that I wrote flatline at the end of it, and just bad energy. And I shut the session down, and it was definitely, I'm going to say she's not alive today. And so according to my data, okay, I did not know what I was remote viewing, and I'm picking up on cars, vehicles, hitmen, something being disposed of, probably her, okay, that kind of stuff. And I don't think she's alive today. Okay, all the data is on my Patreon. Okay, if anybody don't see all of it, it is there. But I will say that I was even picking up on like I picked up on shoulder pain. Like, I don't know if she got hurt in the shoulder area or something, but I was picking up on shoulder pain. But there was definitely something. I mean, I picked up on getting crushed. Okay, and hidden and alienated, like left somewhere, most likely. And it was just very bad energy. I shut the session down at that point when I was picking up on that really bad energy when I got a flat line. I did not do a deep mind probe. If I had known, I would have gone back and done a deep mind probe, but I didn't. But I do believe that she did not survive whatever happened to her. And that's the data. So this is only according to the data, Eric. I think that will. I didn't mention this. It's pretty bad. I forgot to mention this. Her friend, was her name Michelle? I can't remember. Her friend, whatever her friend's name was, she thought she saw her a few months later, or a couple months later, standing by a car with another gentleman. And she called out her name, and the woman ducked down into the car, and she thought, she thought that was her. But see, with this data, I don't think that was her. I don't think so. I think she was imagining things. I mean, I've had friends that have died in family, and I've thought I've seen them, but it was like my mind playing tricks on me, I think. You know what I mean? So
let's go over that data one piece at a time. What was the first part of that data?
First part. Okay, let's go back over it. The first page. You want to start from the first page?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, please.
The first thing I wrote down with my sensory data was terminated.
Okay, yeah,
So that would insinuate that she was, like, let's just say, executed, basically. I don't know. It doesn't say executed. It says terminated. Okay, and I was picking up on like a lot of musical data. Okay, so I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I was picking up on. I wrote
well,
down Terminator. I actually wrote down the name Billy. Okay,
so the music with the opera and stuff like that, believe it or not, a lot of these big time mobsters like that type of stuff.
mhm.
There's a lot of stuff that goes down at operas too. So, or even orchestras playing instrumental stuff, and be surprised how many people of ill intentions own businesses that do that type of stuff.
Mhm. Well, there's
Okay.
that. Okay. Interesting. Well, that could definitely be a connection, for sure. Now, I just got a text message telling me to pull up a comment here. Hold on one second. I am scrolling, y'all. You know, I try to keep a good eye on the chat to pull up all your comments and stuff. But let's see. I don't know if I can find it. I'm looking for Sean. Is it Sean? Okay. I don't know what time the comment was. So if somebody can, whoever just messaged me, if you can tell me, give me the timestamp on there, I'll go back and I'm looking for that comment. Okay. So thank you. I love my team. I got a great team of folks here helping me out, y'all. Okay. So anyways, oh, here we go. Well, here's Chloe. Let's pull this one up. This is a good one too. Vampire cults could be affiliated with SA, satanic abuse, and that's ritual abuse, I guess, or other. Actually, it's the other abuse. Okay, but in satanic groups, that's why it got too hot and they offed her. Okay, maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Now, does the remote viewing data say like who exactly did this? Because we're kind of like at this point, it's like, well, somebody terminated her. Okay, but here the three options that we kind of have out on the table that people have talked about publicly are the vampire cult, the government. She was exposing MK Ultra mind control programs and stuff that were affiliated with these trafficking situations and the Russian mob. Okay, so it was like and I did say concerted effort, right? Concerted effort, and it could have been all of it, but this is for entertainment purposes only, of course. But she was diving into all of that and exposing everybody. Okay, and we know, Eric, that could be very dangerous, right?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to find that comment too. Whoever posted that they're talking about, repost it again if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is tying up
Oh, here we go.
to
There it is.
what's very well known. Oh, there we go. Susan was a writer and published a story of Russian strip club rings. After that was working on a story about vampires, but publisher didn't put the story out, but she was told to shut up. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
She was told to keep her mouth shut. Yes, thank you, Sean. Somebody sent me a message like, pull up Sean's comment. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, she was a writer, published story on the Russian exotic dancing club rings, I guess. But yeah,
and you got to think.
I'm sure she was told to be quiet.
Yeah, the Italians were big into music. The Russians were big into music. So many cultures, music is very, very. It's almost. How do you put it? It's what's the term I'm looking for? Anyways, it's a part of life. You do it. So them owning that places. So you've got so far you've got terminated musical. All this is fitting in, especially with the instruments you're talking about. I'm automatically going to orchestra, which would fit with that type. That they're into that stuff as well. So
This is an interesting comment from Master Light. Says many assassinations and sacrifices were at operas. Lincoln got assassinated at an opera, right?
Yeah.
So, or at a theater. It was a theater. Well, I think it's interesting because escape room is in my data, and I don't know. I have friends that go to escape rooms for fun. You go pay to go get locked in a room, and you got to find your way out, right? You got to find the key to
Most
get
of
out or
your
something.
theaters have an escape room.
Yeah, Nathan, I like how you said unalivers. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Unalivers by profession, sometimes called piano tuners. Jeez, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken, and rest in peace to Phil Schneider. Okay, and he was one of the whistleblowers that talked about dulce bass. And if I'm not mistaken, he was found with a piano cord wrapped around his neck in his vehicle, I think.
Let's just say it's a useful tool.
Wow, that's terrible. That's very terrible. But
Yeah.
there are connections to that. I never even thought about all that. Never thought about it.
That's what
Uh,
we got. We got terminated, musical, escape room.
Advanced stages. I don't
I'm
know. Maybe
seeing.
she was in the advanced stages of like she gone too far in somebody's opinion on like exposing people and stuff, and she was getting too close to the
Yeah,
target.
that or ran her mouth too much. Either it's exposure or trying to use her boyfriend's um, ranking or status to get something done, and it caught the wrong eye. Saying too
hmm
much to the public, either in writing or verbal. So okay, I can see that.
Well, and you got to also see. Look, I was all up in the club culture of Atlanta, if you want to call it that, and I used to go out a
Mhm.
lot, and I had a good time. I had a good time in my younger days in college and stuff, y'all. I loved it. I knew everybody. Used to go out to. I don't remember ever paying to get in the club. I knew everybody out there, and I would go out, and I know people, okay, that you know, they would drink and they would do what do you call it? Extracurriculars, I guess you could call it, stuff like that. And I would watch people like when they would be on stuff like that, what she was on, talking a lot and blabbing their mouths and not remembering what they said the next day. Okay, people especially when people drink, they'll
Yeah.
run their mouths and like not say they'll say stuff that they probably shouldn't talk about. And I'm assuming maybe that happened with her too. I'm just saying. I mean, it's only an assumption. It's not knowing it, but just knowing, you know, gonna say. I just think that that might have
Um,
happened too. But that's
yeah.
dangerous. That's dangerous. Getting somebody on the inside speaking to the outside world on the stuff that's supposed to be hidden and covered up. So, but yeah, hitman, and hit list are all in my data. So she 100% was on a hit list. And that's what I think what happened. I think there was a car involved. I don't know if she was hit by a car. I mean, that's even a thing. It seems like they would have cameras, but this is back in the 1990s. Cameras were not all over the place, Eric. I don't think. Do you remember cameras being as out there? I mean, I think the cameras
Uh,
started popping up around 2001 or so with the surveillance state, right?
yeah. I mean, there was cameras. You pretty much had to have money to have a camera system. So even in the early 90s, even see, there's not sending my messages out again. It's back to doing it again. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, even earlier than that, I mean, there was always surveillance cameras out. But for a long time, you had to have a lot of money to have it. So if they got surveillance, then they got a lot of money. They got something to hide or to protect.
Money. Yeah. Well, I would think that the Russian mob has money. Okay. And maybe even the vampire cults too. I don't know. Who knows? Um,
Yeah.
Especially if you're immortal, you've been here a long time. You probably racked up some money, stashed something away.
Well, I mean, you got
Just
to think
saying.
some of your older ones are going to be wise, and they know that hey, we can't just go out and do what we did say in the 1800s because there's way too much stuff now that's going to get us caught and bring attention to us. They're not going to want to bring attention to themselves. They bring
No.
attention to themselves, and bad things happen. So they're going to try to do things in the
Yes.
dark.
Oh yeah. Yes. Well, I
Yes.
don't. After reading the data, I don't think that she OD'd and then was disposed of. I don't think that's what happened. Okay, I don't from the data. I'm gonna mark that one off the list. Her being seen and still being incognito and living life as someone else now, I'm gonna mark that off the list. This is only according to the data, because I don't know for sure.
Unless she was turned. The only way that'd be true is if she was turned
into a vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, what about that too? Well, would she be considered dead at that point?
Technically, yeah. I mean, the vampire is the living
technical.
dead.
Man, that gets really technical though, doesn't it? That's wild. It's like, well, she's.
I mean, that's a good point.
But Walking Dead, I don't know.
Amy, that's a good point. The same with Aaron's. Both of them sound familiar, but when I'm thinking Opus, I'm thinking of something on the criminal side. I know what you guys are talking about, but I'm thinking it sounds too familiar with the criminal side. But yes, so I mean, technically, yes, she's unalived.
Mm-hmm.
Because now if she's turned, she's now one of the living dead. The key word is living dead. So, I mean, she's still dead, but.
Well, we're going to get into the celebrity stuff in a minute, because I think this ties into this too. Okay, because there was this one actress who was on Orange is the New Black, that show, and I can't remember her. I don't know her name. I don't know anybody's names, but she was on there, and she was doing an interview with somebody, and they were like talking about immortality and having, always looking youthful and living forever. And she was like, well, I was offered that. She was being interviewed by this comedian lady, and she was like, well, I was offered the golden juice or something like that. And the lady's like, what do you mean? She's like, you were never offered the golden juice? And the lady's like, no, I'm just a crazy comedian. I'm not a big movie star. She goes, well, I was offered the golden juice to live forever. All I had to do was drink it or something like that. And she said that she didn't want to do it. And so she didn't take it, is what she said. But they was kind of putting it out there for everybody to know that, like, there is some kind of immortality juice, and it may be the Google Chrome. It starts with an A.
Well, I mean, so many cultures talk about it. I mean, Norse mythology had the golden apple, which kept the gods at a youthful vigor. They had to eat of this golden apple from time to time. Otherwise, they would grow old and feeble. Then you got the fountain of youth. The list goes on to different stuff in different cultures that talk about this immortality type of thing. Maybe elixir, food. I mean, the Japanese have a type of fruit. I don't remember what it is that you eat, and it's what the immortals eat. It's very similar to Norse mythology. So, I mean, all this stuff is out there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What a lot of people don't know, because they're used to Holly Scrooge, is they think vampires can only come out at night. And you study vampirism throughout history in all cultures, 96% of them can be out even during the day. So you have to have that. You got to add that into there as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, Urso, if you have someone who wants to die and they exchange with somebody already dead, and they take over body, are the other one then dead or alive but absent? I don't know. That makes my brain hurt thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know.
Technically,
thank you, Urso. I guess technically, right? Don said, this is a good point, Don. Don says, maybe the girl that said she saw Susan later by a car, it wasn't Susan. It was Susan, but she wasn't human anymore, but a vampire.
That's kind of where my mind's going to that, Don. Yeah.
That's wild. Well, that's the interesting thing about the data. It suggests that she was taken out, flatlined. What is that movie? Okay, well, I was going to say Flatliners, right? There's a movie called Flatliners, where like they die for like a minute, like medically die, and then they bring them back with the things that shock their heart. Aren't the same people that are in Flatliners in Lost Boys too? Isn't it like Kiefer Sutherland and stuff? I don't know. Maybe I'm confused. But I don't know. Maybe there's a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Vampires and flatliners. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching, or maybe I'm not. Okay. But Flatliners is a good movie. But I did get Flatliners, and Flatliners is like where they die, but then they're brought back to life. So there could be some symbology there, something significant there with the data. So I don't know. Maybe that was her. I think that's a great point, Dawn. I really do, because I do believe she did. Oh, it's Kevin Bacon. Is that right? So it's not the same. College students. Is it Kiefer Sutherland or Kevin Bacon? I don't know. Was that 6 degrees of separation or something like that with Kevin Bacon?
Okay. Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hitmen, kidnappers, hit list, all that is all in the data with this. So, yeah. I don't know, Eric. I do believe she died. Did she come back as a vampire? That will require more remote viewing, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
It will.
I mean, if we're dealing with vampires, that's got to be on the board of possibilities. And that would make up for some of your stuff in your remote viewing and her friend seeing her later on. And I just typed it in there. It's a peach that the Chinese eat that gives them immortality.
A peach?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Kiefer Sutherland was in this. Okay. Michelle says that Kiefer Sutherland was in Flatliners and Lost Boys. That's what I was talking about. Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah. Okay. I guess. Man, that's wild. And I just remembered I was talking about Kiefer Sutherland. I was joking around with what was his name? One of the guys that I met, this older gentleman that I met who's worked with the Navy SEALs, actually, teaching them psychic skills and stuff. Dr. Richard Miller. Okay, Richard Allen Miller. I love that guy. And he was, I don't know, I gave him a bottle of this Kiefer stuff to drink, and I was like, this turns you into Kiefer Sutherland, is what I told him. I was kidding. Okay, so I don't know. This is funny. This is coming up again. All right. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just going to say that she either died and she's been disposed. I mean, it said disposed of in my data too, though. Okay, so that's another thing. Disposal. I wrote disposal down. And if she had become a vampire, I don't think that, but this is just according to the data, I don't think that would have been in there. Mm-hmm. So there's also that. But so there's like different possibilities. I think we've kind of narrowed it down according to the data as to 2 possibilities. It doesn't say exactly. We don't know who did it, but somebody did. And there was a hitman involved. Okay. For sure. Okay. Well, speaking of celebrities. All right. Yeah. Speaking of celebrities, not just Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, Kiefer. Hold on. Here we go. There's that one. Thank you, Sovereign. It's funny, Jessica. Kiefer Sutherland. Yes. That's what I said. I thought
great and young gun.
I did. Okay. Well, we were talking about that. The celebrities possibly being vampires. Before we move on to that, I do want to show a couple more pictures. And I do want to send out my condolences to the family of Susan Walsh. If they do happen upon this video at some point, I do hope that you guys find some closure in her disappearance in whatever way. And my heart goes out to all of you and her son, especially. And I do want to show, there are some newspaper clippings. Of course, mob hit feared a mystery of vampire cult dancer. That was one of the headlines after she went missing. And also we have the missing persons flyers, 36 years old, 5'6", about 100 to 110 pounds, last seen July 16th in New Jersey. And here's another flyer. And also I have a map of, I believe this is the most missing persons cases per capita for however many people are in the state, each state. And New Jersey is, let's see, New Jersey doesn't have as many. I think the blue ones are actually, the least amount. But just if you're wondering about your state, this is one of the maps right here. We do have a horrible trafficking problem and missing persons problem. I do talk about the missing persons out of our national parks. That's one of the soapboxes I stand on. And this actually is a map of human trafficking sites right here. This is some of the hotspot hubs of human trafficking cases, and it does also line up actually with some of the missing persons cases that we talk about as far as this goes right here. This is from 2012, so it's an old map, of course, but
you know why Missouri's kind of
Mhm.
bad for that?
Why is that? Caves?
You got Highway 65 and Interstate I-44. One goes from north to south, the other one goes from east to west. So you'll be surprised how many people, even in tractor trailers, go across either one of those two highways.
Oh yeah, we got to definitely take that into account. All the highways as well, all the interstates and stuff. Yeah, Missouri does have a couple of red spots right there. Good Lord, man.
Yep.
Nonetheless, it's very sad. Very sad. It's a huge problem. Human trafficking is absolutely diabolical. Okay, and man. Well, like I said, I hope that Susan's family finds closure at some point, and maybe this data could help. You know, in the end, it is just remote viewing data. But like I said in the beginning, Eric, if my family or friends were ever to go missing, I would exhaust all my resources, and that includes remote viewers. It includes psychics. I would do anything to find my loved ones if they went missing. I think most people would. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Them not. Yeah.
So we tie a lot of this missing persons to cryptids. Even with the homeless people, but dealing with the woods, and you're forgetting a prime hunting ground could be for vampires can also be the woods. It's remote. It's isolated. You get a lone walker or a lone runner, take them out in the woods. That's one of the few things that Twilight got right.
That's right. That's why we've had some pretty well known cases actually of women who have been hiking by themselves or with their dogs and go missing, find them decapitated and stuff. Like that happened in one of my areas where I like to go camping a few years ago. A young lady, I don't remember her name, but she was hiking with her dog, and yeah, she was taken. I mean, when I say like I do carry personal protection devices on me when I go out in the woods. A lot of times, it's for protection. It's not the cryptids. It's the people. It's definitely the people you got to worry about.
How do I want to put this? So rail cars. Some of them go on trailers because they're containers are shipped on boats. They're put on rail cars. They're put on 18-wheelers. Containers are very mobile. My time in the military, I can tell you containers was a very big commodity and very well used amongst human trafficking. And if something fails in one of the containers, I wouldn't wish that sight, that smell, or anything on my worst enemy. When you come across one of them containers that the living arrangements for it failed, because that's a big oven. So, but that is probably the most widely used shipping is those containers.
Yeah, that's really sad. I think that's coming to light into the public a lot more. I learned about that about a decade ago, actually. I started learning about that from watching people like, Alex Jones and stuff. Okay. So, of course, I was dealing with the learning about and trying to, wrap my head around the trafficking that was happening out of Atlanta. And especially as it pertains to children as well. With my job that I worked for almost 20 years, and but yeah, we started unraveling more of the mystery, about 10 years ago or more, when it comes to like the evergreen shipping containers and stuff. And I don't know, I want y'all to do your own research on that. We're not going to talk about that tonight. Okay. But thank you for bringing that to the light, Eric, because that's something that really needs to be looked into by a lot of people. If people don't already know.
Two of the major contributors I won't mention on here, but anytime
For
we came
entertainment
across
purposes
that,
only.
there's two people of well-known, well, one's a family group, and I mean, they're both technically family groups, but we'll say one's a big business and the other one's a very huge politician, and their names were on, I'd say, 90% of the containers.
Yep.
You know, I just got told to look away, don't worry about it.
You were actually ordered to look away. Don't look at it.
Don't worry. Yeah, don't worry about the names.
Yeah, that's where that's a big part of the problem right there. You know, and it's sad. Yeah.
I'm just going to say that's a good guess. That's one of them. One good guess. I'll just say that to you. So I wouldn't pop that up on your screen.
I'm not popping stuff up on the screen. Yeah, I'm not. Don't worry. I am not. Okay. Yeah. But it is good to kind of have, in case anyone is not aware, do some research on it yourselves, y'all, and look into it. It's a deep rabbit hole, and prepare yourselves because it is really dark. Okay. It's really dark. But you know, here we are, we're talking about these vampire cults. And like Roseanne Barr said, she's like, they're, I don't know, celebrities or people in charge of running the whole world. They're a bunch of vampires, and they're eating babies. She said. That's what she said. This is for entertainment purposes only. She was not kidding. Okay, and so it's just something to be aware of tonight. Okay. Well, speaking of vampires, let's get into these celebrities. Okay, and a while back I had done a remote viewing show on Saint Germain, out of New Orleans, Nolans, as you say it, Eric. We had talked about New Orleans, Louisiana. That's New Orleans, Louisiana. And Saint Germain was an alleged vampire that came over here in like either 1899 or 1902 or something like that, from what I can recall. And he came over. I don't know if it was around the time that the Casket Girls showed up as well at some point. I think that was before that. But at the convent in New Orleans, supposed vampires. Okay, they were all carrying these like casket-shaped chests with them. Some people believe that they were actual vampires. Some believe they were hoarding vampires in their caskets that they brought over, their cassettes. But New Orleans is well known for their vampires and stuff. And Saint Germain, we had Elizabeth. Erin Elizabeth that came on the show. She's a distant relative to Admiral Byrd from the Antarctica expedition, Project High Jump. She came on and, she was talking about how she believes that she had actually worked with Saint Germain, the vampire, on a movie set out in the Southwest somewhere, out in Nevada or Arizona or something. And so people do report encountering Saint Germain to this day, who's supposed to be an immortal vampire, Eric. Yeah.
Well, one theory is he's a vampire. I mean, the most common one, he's an immortal. Some say a vampire, some say other stuff. It's not. It's hard to tie it down, but being a vampire is one of them. Yeah.
Being a vampire, man. I think there's a lot more vampires around us than we could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Apparently, reptilians and vampires, and some of them are the same, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Saint Germain's an interesting character.
He is. He's very interesting. Okay. Well, when I did that remote viewing target, I had also done a remote viewing target of Nicolas Cage as well, because he is an alleged vampire. Okay, some people say that he's an actual vampire, and we're going to go over some of that data again tonight. We'll go over that because I do believe if there's a vampire out there, and I was given this as a coordinate remote viewing target, it seems as though whatever I was remote viewing was probably a vampire. Okay, like a real vampire, yeah. And so we talked about the fittest flat earther guy and him doing all those side by sides and lining up moles and freckles and stuff on people's faces and blemishes and things like that. I mean, I was going to ask you, Eric, how easy would it be to fool the public? But I think that we've been fooled for a long time. I think that we've got the answer right here, if this is real. Okay. I'm going to show some pictures right now of, of some of these actors. And I know, of course, we have AI. Of course, AI is a thing. All right. And I don't know, but when we start digging around, we can find pictures of historical figures who look an awful lot like our modern day celebrities. Okay. And some of them have changed genders. Like we got Leonardo DiCaprio up there, and that's a woman beside him, but it looks an awful lot like him. And matter of fact, there's a whole lot of celebrities that even to today, right now, and this is different because we're talking about vampires. There's also celebrities who there's two that look like doppelgangers that are alive and well right now together. Let's say somebody I think it was Adam Raw, before the show even started today, was talking about his daughter or her, I think it's a him, but their daughter had gone to a Trippie Redd after party. And he said that he needed to get some kind of garlic, and what did he say? He needed to buy some garlic and steaks or something. I don't know. After his daughter came back from this event, it was at the top of the chat tonight. But this is Trippie Redd and Orlando Brown, I think is his name. I don't know, Orlando somebody. That's the same person playing two roles. That's my opinion on that. Okay, I don't think it's clones. I think it's one person playing two roles. But I think that's Trippie Redd right there, who he was referring to, just in case y'all are wondering. Okay, but I think there's a lot of actors that play double roles. I think that's what we're dealing with. But there's also the idea that some of these actors are immortal vampires. I mean, that's a spitting image of Eddie Murphy right there. I mean, spitting image. Look at this Matthew McConaughey. I mean, could these be AI pictures? Absolutely. Could be. But some of them are not. Okay. I mean, I don't know. This one of Jay-Z is really cool. That looks just like him. Could it be their great-great-grandparents? Absolutely. Okay. Could there be some kind of, they do say that a lot of the celebrities are all related, right? And could be same bloodlines. I mean, it's just weird.
Well, I mean, like when William and I did it, I posed this question, and that question was exactly what you was talking about. Could this be that somebody looks like one of their previous and relatives? Because that does happen.
It could be. It could be. This is an interesting one right here. I don't know if that looks like MJ. Okay. But I also wanted to point out, okay.
Consider
when,
I don't know.
Well, when Michael Jackson died, and I'm only saying this to kind of back up the idea that these might be real vampires. They could be. Okay. I'm not saying they are, I'm saying they could be. But to back up that theory, I do believe that when the day that he allegedly died, it's all allegedly, this is for entertainment purposes only. It's all entertainment. But when he died, there was like I don't know if it was it couldn't have been TMZ. They're in on it too, I think. But for entertainment purposes only. But there was somebody that had a video camera, or had their phone out at the hospital where his body was taken. And they took it into the hospital, and when they opened up the back doors to the ambulance, Michael Jackson got out. The dead body was able to get out and walk into the hospital on its own. Okay. Now that's just a still shot. This is from a video. You can find this online if you dig hard enough. I didn't pull up the whole video, but I have a still shot from that. They matched up the license plate from when they left his house until they got to the hospital. And it was the same ambulance. Okay. It was the same vehicle. I was following that when it happened, and that was the same. And it appears as though he was actually alive, and he got out and he walked into the hospital on his own. Now they could have at least put him on a stretcher and made him pretend like he was not alive. Okay. You just had 5 feet. You had to get him into that hospital, but for whatever reason, they were able to capture that. I don't know if he's dead or not. I don't know. Okay. But from the evidence I've seen, I think that he's probably not. Now, do celebrities fake their deaths? Yes. I've been told 100% they do. They're playing a character, right? Their character dies. So,
Yep.
I don't know. It's a big old club.
Yeah.
I'm not in it. At least.
Yeah. That one picture of Michael Jackson where you're shown of an older one. I grew up
Side by
watching
side.
Michael Jackson. He was always blacker than and all get out up until that skin condition got him. So if he looked like that way back when that picture was taken, I'm sorry, man. I can't get on board.
I think
with that
it's
one.
kind of. I think it's cool. I don't know. I know that's what I'm saying. I'm like, well, people watched him grow up. He's older. He was older than me by a good bit, but people watched him grow up from childhood and stuff. So that's a question I have too. It's like, well, some of these people you watch them grow up as a kid. Like how does that work? I'm not saying it's all of them. Maybe it's some of them, or maybe it's none of them. There 100% is a satanic agenda, though. Okay, and I'm just going to say satanic. I don't know. I'm not going to say vampires are satanic because I don't know. But if you listen to Bill Schnoebelen, that guy from the Prophecy Club and stuff, vampirism is very satanic. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Right. I mean, I'm not very educated on it, but what I do know, there is a satanic element. There's some kind of black magic element to it, right, Eric?
If you study vampires throughout every type of culture there is in that history, there's always some type of dark magic tied to it. Every single time. I mean, there's not one single time that you're dealing with a vampire throughout, any type of culture throughout its history that dark magic ain't tied to it. So yes, I believe that is much like werewolves, not dogmens, but werewolves. It's dark magic is tied to it.
Yes, there is. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman, Dave. Oh my gosh. Yes, that man went on Larry King after MJ died. And he said that his name was Dave. I always thought that was actually Michael Jackson. I did. This is for entertainment purposes only. Once again, sorry, y'all. I got to keep saying that. But I always thought Dave was actually him. It was a man that claimed that when he was little, he had burns all over his body, and that him and MJ were good buddies or something. And but I think that was actually Michael. But I don't know. Who knows? There's clones, there's vampires, there's immortals. Man, it's confusing, Eric. Isn't it? Am I the only one that's just completely confused about all this?
No, I was kind of laughing because Stargazer was bringing something up that I was thinking about earlier about how actually realistic that movie was called 30 Days of Darkness.
Ooh, that sounds scary.
There's been accounts throughout history of places that have long periods of darkness that are plagued with vampirism, and towns just mysteriously disappear after it.
Ooh, is that true? Like true story?
Mm-hmm.
30 Days of Nights is my favorite movie. I had it on DVD. It was filmed in an Australian desert in 100-degree heat.
That movie was actually, if memory serves me correctly, that movie was based off of that findings of these towns that disappeared in these places of 30 Days of Darkness.
Towns that disappeared? Man, that's scary. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 28 days later, or that 28 days or whatever, that's really scary. That sounds like the kind of similar. That's scary too. I know. I don't know. Should we be preparing for a zombie apocalypse right now, Eric?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think we got at least one type of them right now, and that's the people on them stupid cell phones 24/7 that can't drive and can't walk without being on it. But far as there's a lot of stuff coming out with the zombie virus that they found in the ice, and now they're coming out with all this other stuff. It makes you wonder. I mean, yes, the military supposedly has a training seminar of a situation where military officers at West Point made it up in case of a zombie apocalypse. Why are they going to do that? That is, if that's not real, why are they doing that type of training when they're training officers for real life situations?
Oh, good point, Eric. That's a good point. And I want to say something about that. But first, I want to talk about Lori's comment here. Thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
Says, movie called Opus about a writer journalist. You're onto something there. Okay, so there's a movie called Opus. I just spelled it wrong on my data. It said I put OPHUS, but it's OPUS. So it could be that. Yeah.
Well,
Listen,
and you know,
I don't know how to spell sometimes. Just kidding.
Yeah. You know, and people's
Yeah.
bringing in the Magnus Opus and Mr. Holland's Opus, and yes, I mean I know all that stuff there, but when you were talking about it, my mind automatically went to the crime world. Something was tied to Opus in the crime world. I just can't remember what it is.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I had a really good point that I was going to bring up right after this, and then I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about, Eric? That was my bad. I had something. I was like, there's no way I'm going to forget it, and then I forgot it. So,
yeah.
Oh, God. If anybody remembers in the chat, y'all let me know what I was talking about. Zombies? Was it zombies?
Yeah, zombies.
Probably zombies. It was definitely zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. I know what it was. I just remembered. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that just came back to me. Okay, so I have a video that I've talked about. I don't know if I've remote viewed it or not. I don't think so, but it was a video of a man that it's pretty popular on social media. It was, and it looks like a man. This is a zombie, and he's like, he's like making these noises. These two guys are in a truck. They're driving down the road, and there's this man, and he's crawling. He's all contorted. He's crawling on the side of the road, and his shoulders are all jacked up, and he's wearing we call them wife beater shirts, those white tank tops, wife beaters, and he's got on some pants, and he looks like he is just all disheveled. He looks like a zombie, and he's pale white, and he's walking up to this truck. He's like crawling up the truck, and the guys go, hey man, are you okay? And he goes, yeah. And the guys are kind of taunting the guy, but they're filming him because he looks like he's on drugs. That's what he looks like, or something. It looks like a zombie. Well, I'd seen that video. It'd been going around for a while, and then I had a friend of mine who sent it to me, and he said, "This is actually from a training video." He gave me this information. He said, "This is actually from a training video with DOD or law enforcement of some level," and he said they actually ended up. What I was told was they actually ended up shooting that guy because he was actually a real zombie. He was a zombie. Okay. So, and it was for a training video.
Let's dive into this theory a little bit on that.
Okay.
So you got to think military, number one guinea pig for new type of whatever you want, synthetic thing to come out, is getting stuck in our bodies all the time. That's why a lot of us veterans have so much medical issues, is because quite literally we're a freaking guinea pig. So the theory, and this is one movie where I Am Legend that I agree with the bringing about of this could come from, and sadly a lot of that's playing out right now with the cure of cancer, which was just in the same thing as that movie of I Am Legend. And I think if there is any type of zombie outbreak, unless the Draugr come back from the grave, like I'm writing in my book, it's going to be from that. I think that's probably going to be the most common thing about it. Now, I know them things are supposed to be vampires and I Am Legend, but if you stop and think about it, that would fit more on the zombie side than it actually would with the vampiric side.
Well, they're getting us ready for something, and it may not be us as in civilians, but maybe the law enforcement and the military they've been preparing for a while. Okay, on this stuff. I mean, if that was in a training video, as I was told, I don't know for sure. I am not a part of it. I was just told from an outsider looking in. Okay, perspective. That information was given to me. I didn't ask for it. Okay, but that was supposed to be a training video. Now, was it for sure? I don't know. Maybe it happened in real time with some civilians, and then they took that and used it later as training. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it was that kind of a thing. But nonetheless, I mean that CDC had that zombie apocalypse training stuff and the manuals
Yep.
and
FEMA's
yeah.
got one. I mean, all these organizations, alphabet organizations, have everything set aside or in a zombie apocalypse. If this thing is not real, why are they making movies, commercials about it? Now they're coming out saying, oh, by the way, yeah, we have this type of zombie thing, this type of zombie thing. Oh, we found a zombie bacteria that was frozen in the iceberg, for
Yeah.
millions of years.
What a
Something is getting
coincidence.
ready to freaking happen. Yeah. Yeah.
There are no coincidences at
No.
all.
No. Hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Just like I laugh at people that said they don't believe in Bigfoot, right? In our military field handbook, we call it our infantryman's Bible. One of the most dangerous creatures that we look about in the world is a Bigfoot. So if Bigfoot ain't real, why is it in our infantryman's Bible? As one of the most as one of the dangerous creatures you run into.
Oh,
Zombies
man.
in there as well.
Zombies and vampires. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's I always say, well, all these mythological creatures that we've been told are not real. They're actually real. And like, it's kind of fun to be like, oh, Bigfoot's real and unicorns are real.
Mm-hmm.
Modern day dinosaurs might be real. That's kind of interesting, but it's a little dangerous. Then it's like, oh, but that means that vampires and zombies are real too. Things that will eat us. Well, I guess Bigfoots will eat us too. Okay, but I mean, I'm not trying to go out there and chase zombies, honestly. Like that and vampires, I'm not really looking to chase. Okay.
I always thought that my favorite weapon in a zombie apocalypse, and this is something I've thought since I was knee high to a grasshopper's ass, was that little paper cutter on that little paper cutting board, that little blade, big blade.
Yes. Yeah.
That thing is strong and durable. Fluffy's getting smacked.
Oh God.
That bad boy out.
Well, I mean, circling back around to the flamethrower. I mean, we all need not all of us, but some of us might need to invest in a flamethrower. Okay, at some point.
So if you actually study of ways to guard yourself against all these different types of supernatural creatures, these cryptids, these living dead, every one of them it's either you unalive them by taking the head off and burning the body, removing the heart, something of pure silver, and but fire, removing the heart and pure silver, you'll find that 3 in pretty much every single one of them. And that's ancient stuff. I'm not talking about modern. I'm talking about, that's when I wrote Saga Grimson book 3, the beginning, when they're in Scotland facing the werewolves. I researched the ancient stuff on it, and that's in that book because that is what most cultures tell you is how you combat these things.
Oh man. Well, we all could use some advice on this for sure. Gosh, what are those movies with Woody Harrelson in it? I think it's Woody. Is it Woody Harrelson?
Oh,
I don't know where he's they're all named the cities or states they're from. What is that called? Ben, what's that show called? This is my son's favorite movie.
Not Zombieland.
I can't remember, but it's I can't remember. Somebody in the audience will know, but they're all they're all named after the states they live in. Zombieland. Thank you.
Is it Zombieland? Okay, I guess I was right. Zombieland. I guess
it's Zombieland. Okay. Yeah, everybody's putting Zombieland in there. It's Zombieland. Y'all, sorry, I'm terrible with names and titles and stuff, but that's a good one. That's a pretty good one. But like I said, they've been putting this stuff out in the public for a long time now. And Walking Dead was filmed right here in Georgia. As a matter of fact, they filmed Walking Dead right down the road from the Molina Bigfoot Festival, where I'm going to be next month on November the 8th. Y'all come see me down there. And we stopped by there on the way in and out. The first year I spoke down there at that festival, we stopped and my son got out. And we took pictures of him in that it's like an abandoned town where like they filmed the Walking Dead. So yeah, down there. We got some pictures of my son down there.
Wild man garlic is a fairly new term, and that was based off of anything that lives off of living blood. Doesn't like garlic. But if you actually research the ancient stuff on it, garlic is never mentioned. So it's kind of interesting if that'll work or not, but that's all based off of like your ticks, your leeches, mosquitoes and stuff like that. If you eat a lot of garlic, they don't attach themselves to you. Or drink drink of your blood because they don't like the garlic. And that's actually where that myth came from. And I believe it came from for Holly Scrooge because of that. It's a fairly new term.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, nobody likes to be around me when I eat too much garlic. I'm just saying. Just kidding.
I love garlic.
I love garlic too. Garlic is so good. That's probably why I have not gotten bitten by a vampire yet. Okay. At least I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't started craving blood or anything, so I don't think I'm a vampire. Okay.
Yep.
Oh man. But
if we have a zombie apocalypse, I want Chuck Norris at my side. Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, do you guys have vampire cults out there in Missouri? I mean, have you ever heard of like vampire cults out there?
St. Louis, Kansas City. I think Springfield does too, but I know St. Louis and Kansas City does. Yeah. They're all underground. Every major city across the U.S. has them. It's all underground. There's certain markings that you can go off of that will let you know. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what the markings are. If I can look it up and find it, I'll let you guys know. But there's certain symbols, markings, places that set aside just for people that think they're vampires or actually are vampires.
Ooh, I was actually watching your video. You were doing a show with William, and I was listening in, and you guys were talking about what kind of markings people have if they are a werewolf or if they're in a vampire cult or if they are a vampire. I remember William saying, I probably shouldn't say this on here. I think I might have said this before, but he was like, well, a lot of the women or people will have, if they turn into a werewolf, they will have a blue butterfly tattoo on their arm. Or just, I think he specifically said a blue butterfly tattoo. I'm almost positive. He said a butterfly tattoo. And I looked down on my arm and I have a blue butterfly tattoo on my arm. I'm just saying. I was like, gosh darn it. I don't know. I didn't think I was hiding anything, but I mean, I don't know. They did say that MK Ultra is involved in these vampire cults and all this trafficking and mob stuff. Yeah.
I believe military is.
I don't have that.
3-letter agencies, I think man, think about it. They're always trying to get the best weapon out there to defeat their enemies. If these things are real, then it would not be out of the realm of possibility that you're using them.
Yeah. It is wild, Ben. We live in such a wild time right now. And no, I am not a werewolf, y'all. I don't think that I'm a werewolf. I hope not. So, but I do have a blue butterfly tattoo on my arm. But it's for my friend Bonnie. My friend Bonnie passed away. And my friend, one of my best friends, Marianne, and I got matching tattoos that Bonnie had. Hers was red. Bonnie's was purple. And I got blue. Okay, so that's why, if you guys are wondering, it's not because I'm a werewolf. Okay. Just remember my friend Bonnie, okay? And we're not werewolves, as far as I know. But anyways, man, what a wild conversation we are having tonight.
I don't know, actually. I don't know. Vampire would not tell us if they were or not. So how do we know, Jessica? You can be telling. I don't know. Unless you're not.
Eric, do any of us really know? I don't know. I mean, do vampires and I think vampires would know, but do you think a werewolf, somebody who turned into a werewolf, what if they just didn't know they turned into a werewolf?
I believe they'd know, regardless if it's their choice or not to be turned, they're going to know. I mean, I'm sorry, there's just no way of getting out of it. They're going to know. I mean, that's just pure logic right there, because you're going to transform one way or another. So you're going to know.
I would know. I don't have. What did that say? They said about Emily Isabella Burt down here in Georgia, the Georgia's werewolf. Oh, yeah. We've both covered that. Her family said that she had hair growing in places hair should not be growing.
And she emulated her father almost everything, which tells me that her father probably was too.
I bet so. So it's genetic then in some cases.
I believe so. I believe it can be transferred either genetically, or would you call it a virus or bacteria, however it is you want to classify it.
Yeah.
And transmitted that way as well.
Man. Well, I was seeing in the audience, they were saying that garlic is an antibacterial. Is that what that was the word,
it's
right?
good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Garlic's good for your blood system, your heart. Good for a lot of stuff. It's good, but it does repel ticks and mosquitoes and leeches, stuff like that. It does repel it, and that's like my daughters. When my daughters lived with their mom most of the time, they grew up in the city or a town, and there was always like, "Hey, I'm getting covered in ticks, Dad, and we need spray." I was like, "No, eat more garlic." And then once they got to start eating more garlic, like, "You're right, Dad." I said, "Yeah, your dad's not a dumbass."
Yes. So we should stock up on garlic, y'all. Stock up on garlic so we can protect ourselves from things like this right here. And actually, this is that picture from that historical picture of him. I mean, that's like that's a doppelganger, if you ask me. I don't think it's a doppelganger. It might be him. It might be him. I mean, according to the fittest flat earther, I mean, like I said too, we do have to take into consideration the AI, and could this be AI and this all a big psyop? And absolutely. But I don't know. Yeah. It's just fun to look into it. Yeah.
And I'll put information. I'll tell you, I can believe this is it, but unless I can confirm it, I'm not going to tell you. I always tell you it's a possibility. Because I'll be doing you a disservice, and there's way too many things out there that can go, yeah, well, it could be this too. Unless I can confirm it, I'm sorry, man. And yeah, it's a good possibility.
Oh yeah, man, we've had a great chat tonight. You guys are amazing. I've enjoyed seeing all the comments. I'm sorry it goes by fast and I talk a lot, so I miss a lot of the comments. But we've had a really great chat tonight and stuff. I think this is wonderful. Yes. Oh, Robin, thank you so much. Yes, I do have. This is the trailer for that documentary that I am going to be in. It's called The Vanished, and it does focus on. Adam Davis is on it, or Davies, and some other. There's a few people on it. Okay, and it's a Greg Ogles Relics film, and we will be having a premiere. I think it's January the 30th or the 31st in Alabama. If you guys want to come get tickets, come see us. And I'm going to be giving a little presentation. Trey, that one of my teammates, he's going to be giving a presentation at that event as well. It's going to be like a little conference / movie premiere. So y'all come see it. And that's going to be awesome. But we are talking about missing people, okay? Yeah. Vanished. People who vanish off the face of the earth, just like Susan Walsh.
I don't know if I'm missing yet.
Oh, man.
Some people I am.
Some people. Vanished. It's called Vanished. And yes, I mean.
I still get people to this day is like, dude, you're alive? I'm like, yeah. Thought you was dead.
You just went under the radar for a little bit. You went underground to your vampire lair.
Yeah, I went in the military. I needed to, because if I didn't, I'd wind up in a pine box or behind the Gray Bar Special Hotel. So I mean, military was the best thing for me.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's interesting too. Head flood. Yes. Careful with anything that. Yes. I'm not going to read that out loud. Okay. But yes, I agree with that as well. So I don't know that could be that as well. There's always the balancing of all this. Okay. And sometimes you got to get brought back down to reality sometimes. And it could be that too. And there is a big element of that going on in the world. And we are also, that's getting uncovered as well. Lot of, look over here, not over here, and tricking everybody. And everything is not what it seems. Nothing is what it seems. And so anyway.
I got a question for you in the chat on the subject of vampires. What comes to mind, or what type of vampires do you guys think are out there? Do you think there's one type, or you think there are multiple types? And what types are they if you think they're multiple?
Well, I can speak saying there's multiple types, and because I'm talking about like energy vampires and then the blood sucking vampires as well. And I don't know if you look at movies like Underworld, and I think it's Underworld. Yeah. There's like hybrid vampires. There's like not just one type of vampires. There's some that turn into bats, and there's some that don't.
There's some that feed off of fear. There's some that feed off of energy. There's some that feed off of blood. There's a type of jinn that's considered a vampire. It literally survives off of. That's why you don't. That's why they don't sleep with their feet exposed, because it feeds through your feet.
Oh God, neither
So
do
when you're
I. I
sleeping-
always cover my feet, Eric. I hate not
Yeah.
having my feet covered up at night. I'm one of those.
Yep.
I look at my son. My
So-
son hates blankets on his feet when he sleeps. I'm like, whose child are you? You know, he hates having blankets
I'm
on his
too
feet.
dead.
Yeah,
Oh man, I do. I gotta have blankets on my feet.
me too. I used to like to be tucked in because of, I mean, I obviously had some kind of trauma when I was a kid or something. Obviously, something was scaring me
Wow.
because the way I am even today, it's like, yeah, no hands over the side of the bed. Yeah,
Yep.
no feet.
Yeah, because the booger man might get you.
That's right. Well, I also had an aunt. My aunt, shout out to my Aunt Sandra. Okay. Aunt Sandra and Aunt Judy, I believe. They actually, Sandra told us a story when I was a kid. I spent the night with my cousins. And she told us about the devil that lived underneath the bed and would grab your feet and your hands. You put your feet or your leg. And so I was terrified. It was a core childhood memory right there. Never got over that one. Never did.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you, Aunt Sandra.
Yeah, it's there's a type of supernatural entity. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's known to grab you with your hand down and drag you under your bed. I think it's tied to the
Jeez.
jinn as well, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that actual
Man.
myth that they told you is actually based off of tradition.
Man, well, there's a reason I don't put my hand down over the side of the bed, and I suggest y'all don't either. Oh my gosh. Nathan Davis, thank you so much. We love you, Jessica and Erica. We appreciate what you do. Oh, thank you so much. That is very
You
sweet
rock,
of you.
Nathan.
Thank you for your support. We appreciate it. I don't know about you, Eric, but I have fun doing all this stuff. I mean, this is,
Oh
I
yeah,
live for it. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And y'all make it so much even
and the thing
better
is-
having this wonderful chat.
oh yeah. You know, and the thing is this stuff goes all over. I think what happened to her was tied to. I think they're both connected. Something vampiric in the Russian mob. That's not uncommon to hear about that in that culture. So, with your remote view coming up with that type of stuff, definitely think it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yes, she
Yeah.
was definitely targeted. Targeted would be a good word. And yeah, it's tragic. It's very tragic. But unfortunately, when people are, especially if you're in the thick of it, you're in the middle of it, you see all this corruption, then you go to expose it. You're working against the machine basically, and the machine will work to gobble you up sometimes.
Yeah.
But don't let that stop anybody from talking out about stuff. And here we are. We're talking about it, okay? But it's for entertainment purposes over here. And but this is a perfect example why a lot of whistleblowers will not go forward. They don't want to come forward with stuff like that, and that's how all this trafficking and all these things that she was exposing have been able to be kept a secret for so long, Eric, because nobody would expose it. And when they do start exposing it, they disappear. Yeah.
Y'all, I am not suicidal. I like myself. I like myself a
love
lot.
myself,
So I don't
too.
plan on being alive,
No.
disappearing, or anything like
No.
that. Just
Me
let you
neither.
know. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out. I'm a screamer. By God, I'm a screamer. I'm going to go out screaming.
Man, if I don't show up for one of my shows, y'all, it's not. Y'all better come looking for me, okay? Seriously, yeah. I love my life. Love my life. We are, yes, we're happy to be here. Okay, and no fear, no fear. Let's not live in fear, anybody. Let's live in awareness. Just be aware of stuff like this. Everything.
That no fear thing, I don't necessarily agree with that. Fear can be a great
good. Fear
ally.
will keep you alive. Yeah, fear will keep you alive.
Yeah.
But some fear.
If you
but
can
we don't
turn
need to live
fear
in
as a if you turn fear into a weapon, that is one of the greatest allies you can ever have. It's when you turn it into a weapon against you is when fear comes wrong. So in that essence, I say don't let fear control you in a negative way. Use it as an ally.
Oh, spoken like a true soldier. Man.
Oh man.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that too. Sweep the leg, Maureen said.
Yeah.
Use your Judy chop. Yeah.
Dodge, dip, dodge. Sorry, that just popped in my head when I read that.
Oh my God. Dang.
Oh man.
Dang. Well, Eric, what are you dressing up like for Halloween this year? You dressing up?
Me, myself, and I.
Oh man, that's scary. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it is. That's why I hate having a mirror in my bathroom because I look up. God dang, what the hell's that fat thing? Oh, that's me.
Well, actually, I was going to gift you with a brand new spandex rape costume tonight.
Were you?
Just kidding.
I have a demon mask.
I'm just kidding.
I have scared.
My audience
I have
loves
scared
the rape
so
spandex. I'm just
many-
saying. We've talked about it.
I've scared so many kids with my demon mask costume because I'll stand still. And they're like, oh, I want to take a picture. And as I'm taking the picture, I put my arms around them.
Oh my gosh. That's what I need to do. I need to buy some of these like rape spandex costumes. Like they have them for kids. I don't even know if they have them for adults. But like just hand them out to people on my shows. I should totally do that. My mom was the one that suggested that. She was like, how much do those costumes cost? She said, how much do those cost? Maybe we should go buy some. You give them out to your audience. I was like, no, Mom.
God. We done a
Yeah.
hay ride out here one Halloween. Oh man, it's been 6-7 years ago. And I had that demon mask on and I came out of the woods and everybody in the back of that trailer about crapped their pants. It was funny.
Oh my gosh. Rose is like, you get a spandex rape costume. You get a spandex rape costume. We all get spandex rape costumes.
And all you viewers at home get 60% off on yours.
On yours at Walmart. Yeah, I don't know. Not sponsored, y'all. That is so funny. Yes, we will not be leaving the spandex down at all. To give you an idea of what I'm referring to, in case you ever miss it, and I'm sure you probably everybody has, but I made the comment one night. I was in the Midwest Night Watchers chat with Jane and Gerald, and we started talking about I don't know how spandex came up. But I said, well, no, you won't catch me. Look, after 40, there's just no spandex. You don't wear. I don't think it's a good idea to wear spandex. Okay, maybe even 30. I don't know, maybe 30. But you will never catch me in spandex. Not now. I wore it enough when I was young. Okay, but yeah, those rape costumes.
Spandex is made for freaking yoga, not for wearing out in public. Don't look at me. How can you not? Do you not see what that thing reveals? I mean, it's bam, out there.
All spandex. Yes.
I so my spandex today so I can wear that in public and everybody can see my little booty boo to show off to everybody.
Oh my gosh. Yes. We have officially, I don't know what we've officially done. We've officially done nothing. Just now. Officially turned into the spandex channel. Okay. Over here, I'm probably going to have to.
I will not
at some point get some of those
confirm
costumes.
or deny, but there may be pictures and videos of me in a pink tutu running around biker rallies. Just saying.
Oh my gosh, y'all are so funny. You're funny. You're hilarious. Okay.
Dan, I've done some weird stuff. Sad as I still got it in the closet.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we will not keep talking about spandex, y'all. I'm sorry. I took a nose dive there with the spandex, but it is funny. It is funny.
It is.
But nonetheless, Eric, do you have any final thoughts tonight on everything we talked about, from the disappearance of Susan to the vampire cults to celebrity vampires? What's something to leave the audience with tonight?
So in my experiences with the stuff I've dealt with on both the professional and personal side of my life, dealing with the other side of the track, 100%, she made a mistake. Guarantee you this ain't every single time, but most of the time when this stuff happens to somebody like that, it's because they ran their mouth too much. And somebody in that type of industry doing that type of substances for pleasure has a tendency to run their mouth. There's why there's the old saying, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Because when you do that and people have a tendency to disappear. Now, is it vampire related? Possibility. I mean, definitely in the realm of possibility. That's out there. It's been known. It's been documented multiple times. That is a city that would have a cult like that out there. So definitely part of it. People she was tied to would be a part of it. So yes, that is a good possibility. For now, I'd say she probably was. How do I put it nicely on YouTube? Removed from the equation because of her mouth by a certain organization of not so famous uh, looks on themselves. And so I'd say that's most likely what the cause was, but I can't dispute the fact of the vampire. As far as celebrities and other people being vampires or whatever it is, it don't even have to be vampires. It could be some type of immortal, whatever type it is, and they're constantly reliving life and redoing things. There's enough documentations throughout history that suggest that is a very legitimate possibility. Is that what we're looking into, or is that AI we're seeing? Could be a combination of both, or it could be one or the other. It really, yeah, that's kind of what I was hinting at. Soul, I was trying to hint at that in a nice way. Um, People run their mouths, man. You know, there's an old saying on that side of the track that snitches get stitches. Um, that is a very famous saying from that side of the track, and there's a reason why they say that. So when you go to exposing something you're not supposed to expose, you get to talking too much about something you're not supposed to talk about. That's generally what happened to her is what happens. I hate to say it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. I mean, that's the cold truth of behind it. Study any type of missing persons crime, any type of that stuff. That is exactly what happens. And generally, it's somebody tied to one or both of what she was into, or all three of what she was into, or at least one of them. That's what happens. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's true. Um, Even the people in them organizations do it. Same thing happens to them. So um, that being a possibility, what happened to her, the fact she wanted to be a journalist is absolutely very high on that spectrum of being what happened to her. Like I said, the Immortals, that is possible. I mean, Saint Germain's probably the most famous one. I guarantee you there's a lot more out there. Is that what we're dealing with on these? Possibly. Is it AI, people doing clickbait? Sadly, that's what happens a lot nowadays. I mean, even like when I do videos of my investigations, I'll tell you straight up, I'm not doing this for clickbait. During these investigations, exactly is what goes on and what happens. I don't scream at every single little twig break or little movement or something. I get excited. It's like, all right, we got some interaction here. That's how it is, folks. I mean, that's just, I'm not no, high end famous, boob tuber that's got these videos out there on the interweb or the boob tube. I'm fluffy me, man. I'm real. that's about the only way you can put it. So that type of stuff, I can't say no, it's not real, and I can't say yes, it is. It's a very good possibility. I don't want to lie to nobody and make somebody feel right because I agree with them. I can't do that. What was the other thing we talked about? Now I'm so we've we had some pretty
We've
puns.
talked
I
about a lot of
forgot.
stuff tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Yeah. Well, I would never tell people not to speak up, about injustices and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just it's the risk we all take, being public with the things that we talk about and stuff like that. So, just just to each his own, to each her own, and so according to the data, I don't believe that she's still alive today, and her work will forever be around. You guys can definitely go find her articles and things like that online. Susan Walsh, okay, and so rest in peace if she is passed on, and maybe she became a vampire, okay, but according to my data, I do believe she's deceased at this point. So
Yeah.
but this is it's also interesting to keep an eye on the celebrity vampires, the possibility. It's alleged, they're suspected. And I was going to talk about Nicolas Cage. I never got to that data. Do y'all want to hear it real quick? Let's get that real quick, because I talked about Nicolas Cage. I know it's getting late, y'all. I'm sorry. We don't got school tomorrow.
Nope,
I'd forgotten about this. Yeah. Okay, so let me read some of the data for Nicolas Cage. Okay, this is like looking into if he's a vampire. Okay, this was a target that someone gave me a while. This was like a couple years ago, I think. 2024. It was last year in July. I had this target. It had, okay, so here's what some of the stuff that's in the data. Bloodline. I was smelling something that smelled like wet wood. It was demonic. I wrote demonic, bloodline, secrets, rituals, Illuminati, illumination, grave. Okay. Pay the piper, longevity, procreate. So I wrote down procreate. But I remember I was seeing cobwebs. It was straight out of whatever this target was straight out of a horror movie, is what it sounded like. Let me get the next page. And actually there was a ritual circle that I drew. It looks like a ritual circle with like fire all around it. And I wrote tower, dark magic, agreements, contracts, deals, long lineage, ancestors, brotherhood, satanic. It's not a joke. All that was in and devil in the Google Chrome was in my data as well. So I do believe, and this is just me like doing a summary of that data. This is for Nicolas Cage, y'all. Okay, so maybe he's a vampire. I'm going to say that data. If y'all want to go back and watch that show, and if you'd like to see the data, it's on my Patreon. There's more to it, but that was some of the key elements of that data for him. If there's a vampire out there, it's probably him.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Just
dark,
saying.
like I was talking about earlier, dark magic is tied to this stuff. I mean, it's steeped well in there. Even the Chinese talk about their walking vampires. They use magic to bring the bodies back so they can transport them back to the correct burial location that they're supposed to be at. It's magic. I mean, all these are tied to magic when you're dealing with vampires. It's all this. So, do I think it's demonic or something to do with the Lucifer? Absolutely. I mean, a lot of that stuff will suggest that. Is he known by a different name in different cultures? Absolutely. Just like Yahuwah. Yahuwah is known by many different names from many different cultures. What is in the dark is in the light as well. So what is in the light is in the dark. So what happens to one happens to the other. That's all part of it. I mean, it's there. My family, one side of my family was deep into dark magic. Very deep into dark magic. And what I've seen happen to them is reasons why I don't dabble with it. I want no freaking part of dark magic. I mean, I know a little bit about it. I don't know a lot about it because, like I said, I don't want to dabble in it. I know it because of experiences with my family. And so this type of stuff is happening. And my mom's dad, my mom remembered him making a deal with the devil on a stump in their front yard one night. And ever since then, he was never the same. He was loco.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's
this
terrifying.
stuff happens. You can call demons on somebody. You can put curses on people. Like one of the things for becoming a zombie and the voodoo rituals is somebody can request that you become one. So, I mean, this dark magic, all this is dark magic that happens. It's tied to a lot of this stuff that's out there. And there's so many people who practice it. It's not out of the realm of possibility. That's what happens to some of these. Say, we'll just use Nicolas Cage as reference because we was talking about him a little bit ago. Say he wants to keep making movies and being popular for so long. There's not out of the realm of possibility of him selling his soul to be able to do that. Look how many artists have done that, and on open TV has said, "Yeah, I made a deal with the devil, so that I'd be famous." I mean,
Yeah.
people do it for a loaf of bread at one point in time. Doing it to be rich and famous is not out of the realm of possibility.
Mm-mm. No, and all these celebrities today, like these music pop singers and stuff, and rappers and rock stars, like they're doing satanic rituals on stage with our, with our kids watching. And not that my kid watches this, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, this is crazy. Was that the Grammys or something, or the MTV Awards? I don't know.
Oh
I think it's
yeah.
probably the Grammys.
Oh God.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at like Sam Smith. I think that's who that is, and Doja Cat, and I mean, that's just wild. And then we've got Little Nas X, who's from Georgia, by the way, and he's got blood, literal blood inside of his shoes right here. This
Yep.
like he did a I don't know, those are Nikes maybe, but they put actual blood in the soles of those shoes, and it swishes around.
Yeah.
And and of course we have our favorite Katy Perry, who went to outer space right there. But it's a big old club, and a lot of us are not in it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Black Eye Club. Yep.
well, the Shaluminati Club right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick Cage is in it, apparently, with his vampire self. And
Dude,
and so
I'm a master mason, and I can tell you now, I would never be a part of that.
we do mention the Freemasons occasionally, Eric. I wasn't going to bring that up.
I don't hide it from nobody. I'm a third
Yeah.
degree master mason, the highest level you can get in Freemasonry. I'm a past master and current master. You know, that's
Yeah.
why I laugh at people who talk about it, because like, you don't know. I mean, you're just, everything you're talking is not true. And which is sad, because that's even infiltrated, Luciferian. So Luciferian is tied to a lot of this stuff here. There's even a group of Jews that was became Jews so they wouldn't get persecuted because they were Luciferian when the Luciferians were being hunted at one point in time. So you have that happen. Like we in Freemasons had the PJ2 Masons that was expelled from the fraternity for practicing Luciferian. You cannot do that. But a lot of these stuff you see in these major, political people, famous people, whether it be athletes, entertainers of one sort or another, a lot of them are tied to this Luciferian stuff. And it's so when you talk about werewolves, you talk about vampires, you talk about zombies, look what that's tied to. It's all demonic. It's all Luciferian based. And the stuff that you got to do to be a part of them clubs, dude, that's straight up Luciferian.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you go to the Cannibal Club in New York City. And that may not be real, but I think it could be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes they like put stuff out there for the public to like plant a seed to let us know that's what's really happening. But that website's fake. Okay. But it's really happening somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how this world works. That's terrible.
And that's something, when you guys are doing your research, you got to consider that part of it too. When I'm doing an investigation on something, I'm looking at all sides of the tracks. I'm not just looking at one. I'm not staying down the center. I'm looking at it all, because there's something on one side or the other that's going to lead to the answer of what you're looking for. So when you're looking into that stuff, that's why I encourage you guys, don't just listen to what the loudest person says. Dig into it, look into it, because you'll be surprised what you can actually find.
That's true. And I stand with Bigfoot Dwarf. I like Nas better than Little Nas X.
I have no clue who any of them are. I'll be completely honest with you.
Nas is a great artist. Little Nas X, he's all right. But I don't want my kid, watching it. Just saying. Yeah, the music industry is very blatantly into very dark stuff. Yes. All of it.
If you notice,
it's all of them.
I don't listen to music anymore. I write my own stuff anymore because music's lost soul. It's lost its life. Music used to be a story. You can feel it. You can live it. You can see it play out in your mind. And since late 80s, early 90s time frame, I'd say more of the early 90s, mid 90s, probably more so than anything else. You've noticed that disappearing with music. I remember when a song, one of my favorite ones by Kenny Rogers, Lady, when you listen to that song,
Lady.
Lady,
Yeah.
I'm your knight in shining armor and I love you. I mean, that would play off in your mind and you would literally get lost in that song, but you can't do it no more. So, I mean, the days of the artist is gone. And why is that? Is that because they made a deal with Lucifer and their soul is gone? And that's why you don't feel that life in that song anymore? Absolutely. I think that's a good possibility.
Or it could be the frequencies they're putting in all the music too. Some
That
kind of
too, yeah.
hidden frequencies and
Yeah.
I don't know, dark messages. Yeah. And back in the day, you used to have to play a record backwards to hear the satanic stuff. Now they just put it in the frequency. They embed it inside the music, right?
Oh man, I remember listening to 8-track tapes. I remember listening to the little tape cassettes. You got Bon Jovi, Van Halen, Metallica, ZZ Top, Aerosmith. The list goes on of all these great artists, and you lived in their songs. I mean, you felt them. Yeah. Jimmy Dean, everybody knows him as a sausage. He was actually the singer. He sang the song. Oh my God, I just forgot it. Big Bad John. You would feel it. He was known as the storyteller for a reason. He when he sang, he told a story, and that's what music is missing. Jimi Hendrix, good one, yes. Me, I've always been a John Bon Jovi fan. Big time John Bon Jovi fan. But it's gone. It's gone.
What is okay? They say that Jimi Hendrix is actually Morgan Freeman today. Did you know that? Have you heard that before?
No, I haven't.
They do look a lot alike. They do look a lot alike.
I need to look at it.
You'll have to look it up. I mean, there's side by side comparisons, y'all. You can check it out. Okay. Morgan Freeman is Jimi Hendrix, they say. They also say that guy from Jim Morrison was Rush Limbaugh too. So I don't know. I love it. Y'all know I have to look into that, right? I have to look into that stuff. I love talking about this. Mm-hmm. And Tupac. Oh yeah, I was following who's supposed to be Tupac today. I don't know. Of course, Bigfoot Dwarf disagrees. I think Bigfoot Dwarf's in the chat. And I think you disagree, right, BD? Because there's a guy from Jurassic 5 named Kill the MC, and that's supposedly Tupac. Okay, and there's another guy in that group, Jurassic 5, that's supposed to be Biggie Smalls, actually. So I don't know. It's just rumors. I was following a Kill the MC. I think I follow him on Instagram. I don't know if it's
read
Tupac.
That. I see.
He does look like him.
I see Tupac.
Tupac.
How do you get Pac out of PAC? That's Pac. Have you ever seen Pac-Man? That's Tupac. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
too short.
Do famous people go into hiding? Yes, they do. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Is it because they got to them? Is it because the popularity got too much for them? Whatever the reason is, yeah, they go into hiding all the time. If you don't play by the system, then the system will boot you out. Now, some people have been able to bounce from that, and Mel Gibson is a prime example. Mel Gibson fought the system because the system was corrupt, and he spoke out about the system. He had enough money where he was his own producer, started making his own stuff, and he was making more money than he ever did when he was working for the system. So that you got to understand, there's a lot of truth to what these people are saying, because look what happens.
Well, they're worth more dead than they are alive too, is what I've heard. And so yeah, that's where like the clones come in and whatever. I don't know. It's like, well, I don't know. It's I don't blame celebrities. Listen, I mean, it's got to be rough being a celebrity and like not being able to do normal things. Like, look how messed up it seemed like Michael Jackson's life got. Like he couldn't really have friends, and I mean, can't go anywhere without getting your picture made. You got to wear disguises, and
people are always bringing stuff on him, getting money off of him.
Yeah.
his
That'd
dad
be
treated
tough.
him like dog shit. Him and his family, his brothers and sister, like dog crap. I mean, they were pretty much chain driving them guys. You're going to make me this money, you know. He had a crap
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, it would kind of suck. That would kind of suck.
I
Oh my
remember
gosh.
when Thriller came out, back when MTV was cool. You know, you remember? Do you remember when Thriller came out and it was debuted on MTV?
I had the VHS tape of the making of Thriller,
Yeah,
and I used
yeah,
to watch it all the time. And my brother and my sister and I, we would all sit around the living room and watch that VHS tape. And I loved watching the pop locking zombies, the breakdancing zombies. And when
yep.
they would put in his contact, I didn't know what contact lenses were when I was a kid. You know, that was a big deal. Watching them put in those
Mm-hmm.
yellow contact lenses into his eyes, and it made his eye burn like Tabasco. I remember him saying that. It's
Yep.
like Tabasco. And
Yep.
yeah, I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but that was
Oh,
another core childhood memory of mine. Okay.
I remember when the Bengals came out with "Walk Like an Egyptian." I mean, that stuff was great. You know, it was. I mean, I had a crush on the Bengals. I had a crush on Tiffany. Oh my God! I
Belinda
think we're
Carlisle.
alone.
You know, I actually had to hang out with him in Atlanta. Oh my God, I totally forgot about that till you just said that. Was it Jane?
Yeah.
What, her guitar player? I drove them somewhere. I don't know. We went somewhere. I hung out with Bengals. Yeah. Django,
Yeah.
Atlanta, early 2000s. Shout out to them. I'd forgotten I met them until just now. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Man,
It's
tell you what.
but that was back when it had soul. It had life. And I mean, that was back when music was music. You know, the
Yeah.
hurts is I think is a big part of it. I also think it's because nobody has a soul that's singing it anymore.
Mhm.
But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, God, I remember watching. I'd get home from school. My first thing I did was turn MTV on. I just
Yeah.
loved watching.
Man. That's wild. You know what? I'm like sitting here live on air right now. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I forgot that I hung out with them and like I drove them like around Atlanta one night to go like bar hopping and stuff. And see, that's how my life used to be. Okay. Now I'm sitting
I
here talking
drove
about
Trey.
Bigfoot and vampires and stuff. And I like this better. Okay. This is way more fun than
I
that.
drove
But
Trace
it was
Atkins
fun back
around Cobb Spiker, Iraq.
then.
We're sitting in the Humvee. He's like, "You gonna get me blown up today?" I said, "It's still young. That's why you got a flak
Yeah.
vest and a helmet." He just
Oh
gave me
my
that
gosh.
look. He just kind of chuckled.
That's awesome.
It is
You're
Iraq,
probably
man.
scaring that man to death. You're scaring him.
Oh
Carla
my
wants to
God, it's
know: are
great.
you born as a vampire, or can you turn into one? I think they're all turned, aren't they? Or
Yeah.
can you be born a vampire, Eric?
So, I mean, I've heard few cases where you're born into it, so I don't know if that's somebody trying to make something up. In historical records, I've not found a single time where you're born a vampire. You're always created through magic and ritual. You were created one. Um, so I mean, as of right now, I'd have to say no. You're created. But I'd be doing you a disservice if I wouldn't say there wasn't some people saying, yeah, they were born into it. Now, the werewolf stuff, I've heard that curse has been passed down through the bloodlines. That, you know, that lady from Georgia we was talking about earlier, prime example of one of those there. Um, there's other cases throughout history of that being talked to. You know, one of the oldest recounts of werewolves in the United States is a northwestern tribe. I can't remember who they are. When two brothers were very successful at hunting, and they're going through the woods and came across an old man in the woods, and the old man says, you boys did good today," and they're like, "Yes, grandfather, we did." And he's like, may I have some food?" And it's like, "Yes, grandfather, we have plenty. Here, take some." And he was very thankful for their generosity of sharing some of their hunt with him, that he blessed him with the gifts of the wolf. So the two brothers became very good hunters after that, you know, after having the ability to transform into this wolf. And it was, so what we're talking about is wolves like off of what was it? I just said that movie earlier, Twilight. They were able to transform into that type of wolf, okay, and was able to hunt, and they were more successful even after that. One brother used it for good, and he was able to switch back and forth. The other brother used it for evil and was permanently transformed into the wolf. So I mean, you hear stories of that. Now, that being passed down? There's plenty of stuff in different cultures around the world, not just native cultures, of that being passed down through the bloodline. I think on that side of it, yes. But as far as vampires, I've not seen it.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Headflood says, Carly, from what I understand, both bloodlines, OG, vamps, and humans can turn never as powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we might have a bunch of vampires running the world right now. Reptilian vampires.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. We do talk about reptilians running the world and stuff. And what do you think, Eric, about that 3-eye atlas? Have you heard about that? What are your thoughts on that?
oh, is that asteroid they're calling a mothership, if I remember correctly?
It's supposed to be a comet or it's an interstellar object. It's pretty obviously not a comet at this point. I've remote viewed it twice.
Have you?
Yeah,
I'm stuck on it.
I think it's reptilians. That's my data said weeks ago. It said reptilians are on board. This thing is a reptilian ship of some sort. And then all these like remote viewers like John Vavinko and some other, they've come out and said there's Draco reptilians.
I must have missed that one because I don't remember you remote viewing that one.
Yeah, I've done 2 shows on it. Yeah, at least probably 3 shows actually, 2 remote viewing.
I mean, for me, I haven't seen that, so I don't know what the data is. I just know what I've seen, and I'm sorry, it looks like a rock. Now, is there something else that's behind that rock that could be what that is? Possibly. It's a rock. Yeah. But I could be wrong.
The reptilians are already here. They've been here. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, we talked about the zombie apocalypse coming. I mean, reptilian takeover. I don't know. Hopefully nothing will happen. Hopefully we're just going to live in a boring world. Nothing's boring, actually.
I'm a screamer.
You're a screamer?
If it happens, I'm a screamer. Yeah.
Oh, man. I know. We're only here for a short while, so let's have fun. Okay. Well,
hey, I want to go out the way I came in, kicking and screaming and covered in somebody else's blood, man.
Exactly. I think we all are, probably. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, listen, this has been a really fun show tonight, really interesting show, and quite somber at times too. But it's I've experienced all the emotions tonight. I don't know about y'all.
Actually, but Walken just made a good point of what I was when it comes to the AI Atlas. We know from an organization known as the Black Hats. We'll just use the Black Hat term. That there is going to be part of their deal is a fake alien invasion. And that's what I kind of feel is what's going on with this AI Atlas. Fake alien invasion.
Yeah. Could be part of it. I don't know. It's up in the air, so to speak. It's still up in the air.
Yeah. Everything
in every way. Everything's up in the air. Yeah. Well, and plus, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Just be prepared. Be prepared for anything. Nothing is going to shock this crowd. Nothing's going to shock our crowd over here because we are prepared. We're prepared for anything, right? Right, y'all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Well, Eric, thank you so much for the conversation tonight and for being here. It's always so much fun when you come on the show. I appreciate it.
I love it. Well, thank you for having me. It's been fun as always. So
Love V Love says, I'm a hollerer. I'm a hollerer. Yeah. I'm a hollerer. Down in the hollerer. Robin says, no go on the fake alien invasion. I know, right? I think that they have abandoned ship. They've abandoned ship on but I don't know. They might. We never know. So just be prepared for whatever.
They're throwing Hail Mary passes right now, so that could still be on the table.
It could be. Y'all just keep tuning in to the Cryptid Huntress channel and the Bizarre and the Unknown on YouTube. Eric, tell everybody about your channel and about your books and everything. Anything you want to promote tonight? Let's go for it.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually talking with an author right now. My members only on my YouTube suggested doing 2 shows, which I do once a month. One of them is called the Book Club. Right now we're reading from the first book I ever wrote called Saga Grimson Book 1, The Beginning. And as I'm reading it, I'm kind of telling you where my mind was, how I got the idea for the characters, how I got the idea for the storyline. The other one is called the Writer's Workshop, where I have a author come on and we kind of talk about their books and their writing styles and stuff like that. I'm looking at. I was emailing her a little bit ago because we're trying to get set up to do one tomorrow for episode 2 on the Writer's Workshop. I want to have her on with me. Um, that's generally going to be a Friday night on once a month. Then on Saturdays, I have what's called Campfire Chats with Eric and Guest. And that's where you get to come on, you share your encounters. If you want to come on live, I'll bring you on live and we'll talk about it. If you want to talk about in chat, we'll talk about in chat. We'll kind of break down, see what's going on, try to figure out what's happening in this situation for you or what you deal with. Because misidentification happens a lot in cryptids and paranormal and supernatural. So we try to take a look in it to see if this is if it's a misidentification or if you're actually dealing with something or why you're dealing with it. And we'll look into what was going on at the time and what's happening. A lot of stuff can be led into that. I have started recording my investigations. I put them out there on my YouTube channel. That is on there. So anytime I do an investigation, I'm recording it. Going live right now, man, I'm a lone wolf on that stuff, so I got to do everything myself. It's hard for me to go live and do an actual investigation. And one time I tried, I got ran out of the woods by something that wasn't what I was there looking for.
He did.
Uh,
You got Bigfoots on your property where you live.
Actually, just got some new stuff.
Oh, did you?
I put
Evidence?
I made a video last Saturday, I think it was, of what I found, some more recent stuff. So yes, I've been doing some different structures.
Oh, okay.
What I originally thought was the start of a nest. When I went back out there last Saturday, I'm not so sure I'm on that side of it now. I think they're building something. Because it literally has an X formation sitting on top of what I thought was the start of a nest.
A Bigfoot nest.
So that's one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is in the same area where I thought I had a little nursery nest set up. It was something that, my dogs can get into, but I couldn't. But it was obviously domed over and something small can be put in there. So I was like, well, maybe while they're hunting, they're putting their babies inside of this. It's in that same location.
The baby cage.
Yeah. So I mean, it is. Yeah. I mean, I'm a firm believer Bigfoot are human just like us. Just they're a different type of them. We use cradles. Why wouldn't they? Or they use playpens. Why wouldn't they? Because it's been well documented, even in that documentary I was in, that I have family groups that run on this property. So. I'm catching every so often your comments there. It's
these comments are funny. Love said the kennel. It's the kennel, the Bigfoot kennel.
It could be. I mean, I don't know. And that was the same time that my dog, little Snow here, rat dog. He's usually my, ride or die companion. I've got your back, Jack. He's got a little Napoleon complex going on. Yeah, his ass leaves me high and dry in the woods this one day. Called for him, thought something happened to him. Come find out he was out in the field running the tree line back and forth. He didn't want to come back in the trees. I was like, left me high and dry, bro.
He's smart. He's smart. He knows better.
But no, I've got a lot of activity goes on out here, and it's been kind of slow, and it seems like it's picking back up again. And then Sundays I have shows where I do an actual topic and we talk about it. Last week I had Angie with What You Doing on. It was labeled the Ozark Mountain Bigfoot. She's in a different part of the Ozark Mountains than what I'm in. So kind of comparisons, what she's noticed, what I've noticed. I've caught vocals of them actually speaking Lakota and Cherokee. All that's on there. I share everything I find with you all. That's just how I am. I'm not going to make you a believer. I'm going to give you the evidence I find. It's up to you if you want to be a believer or not. I've dealt with the criticism for years. I still deal with it now. I don't care no more.
You
And
got
that's
some
just
good.
how
You
I
got some
am.
good recordings. You do have some good recordings, by the way. I've heard them. It sounds like a
Yeah,
woman
that
talking.
vocal.
In
Yeah, Shante. Yeah, that's
yeah.
Lakota for calm yourself. And it's in the Lakota lullaby. Shante waste hoste da dagi ma. The very first word, Shante, calm yourself. You know?
Wow.
And you got to
Telling you to calm
climbing up
yourself.
and down my ladder.
That's
Yeah.
creepy. I don't know about that.
No.
I wouldn't like that at all.
Yeah, it's fun. But
I'd
yeah,
take the
I
ladder
love
down.
doing that stuff. I was just down at
Yeah.
Joe Bald with D.A. Roberts last Sunday. I got a
Yeah.
kind of a last minute deal. Hey, man, can you be ready? Yeah, let's go. Went down to Joe Bald.
Joe Bald. I remote viewed that place for him long time ago.
Mhm.
After that dog man was in that video behind that tree, whatever that was. I think it was probably a dog man.
Yeah. You remote viewed that area where I was doing that werewolf investigation and something ran me out of the woods. And that's why I was shitting bricks, what you said on your remote view. Because I was like, dude, I know this is something evil. It's spiritual. It's supernatural and evil and very old. And you literally had that coming out in your remote view. So
Something ancient.
yeah, it's yeah. So I do a lot of that stuff. I mean, right now I'm working. I've got 7 books published right now. I'm working on Reign of the Draugr, Dawn of Armageddon, which is my version of the zombies, which is actually the Norse Draugr. That's what they call a zombie. So I have that aspect into this here with a whole nother line of survival. To me, it's just common sense what you would do in a situation like that, and I'm applying that into my book. So I'm working on that. I've actually started a new one. As of right now, it's called Spectre Rogue Agent, which is a spy book that I'm working on. I had the idea on it last night, couldn't sleep. Got home from work, was working on it literally until I came on the show because I was like, I gotta get this idea out of my head. But I write different genres. I write historical fiction, cryptid horrors, present day cryptid horrors. I write sci-fi. I write different genres, and I love it. I'm dyslexic. Spelling and reading is like very hard for me, but I still like to do it.
Yeah.
Pale Crawler being the scariest one. Yeah, I mean, to me, Big W is probably the scariest one.
Let me address this real quick. This is interesting, Pilgrim Society. Has anybody heard of dogmen or werewolves wearing a cape or a black and red, I think it's vest? I was told that they wear vests. Those are the ones in the programs. So yes, I have heard that. 100%. I don't know about the capes, but definitely the vest. I was told by a very reliable source that the ones in the programs, the ones that we would see, but the ones that we would be most likely to see are usually wearing a vest. I have not seen one wearing a vest yet, but yes.
Oh, okay.
The answer is yes.
I didn't know that. I was thinking the Little Red Riding Hood, but I mean, it could be. I don't know.
No, they have like vests. I think they're black vests.
I was thinking like a shock collar type technology, maybe.
It is. Well, it's a shock vest, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's something to control them. It sends back like their heart rate and all their vitals and stuff. From what I was told, I don't know. That's just what I was told.
Oh, so Black Ops stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
See, it's like when I wrote Vangerian Guard, Book 1, House of Battle, which takes place this book series takes place in World War II, and the first one was based off of the German werewolves. I literally wrote in there that they had little chips implanted in the back of their neck that shocked them when they didn't behave. Because I'm like, okay, if the military's doing this, this would be something they would do to keep them in line. You know, they start messing up, they hit this button and shock them. That's why I wrote it that way. It's just in my mind, I was like, this is how you would control them.
That's what they do with them dog men. Mm-hmm. They've got some kind of vest that they use to control them.
And you don't want to pet that dog.
Don't pet that dog.
You don't want to pet
That's
that
right.
Dog. No.
You definitely don't want to pet that dog. Oh man.
You seen the little video of that kid hopping on an alligator?
No.
Alligator said, I'll have to try to send that to you. I laughed.
I was AI. Good grief. That's terrible. I used to swim with alligators.
This one was. I don't think
Yeah.
it was on like a 6-foot alligator. It was up on these people's porch, and their mom and dad was freaking out. This kid goes, "Oh, wee!" and it just takes off. Well, they freak out, come out the door. The alligator freaks off, hauls ass off that porch down through the yard, and this kid's
kid
just
on it?
riding the alligator.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
But people don't understand. Alligators move fast. They can run
yeah.
quick.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
you don't. Oh boy, I tell you what, you got to be careful. Don't ever.
yeah.
We used to have a place down in Florida, at a place called Alligator Point, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's full of alligators. I do not like alligators. They're cool to look
Oh
at
yeah.
from a distance, but when you open up your back door or your front door, both sides of the yard, and there's just red eyes staring at you in your yard, it's time to not be there anymore. Okay, this place was infested in alligators. Yeah, can't have a pet
Yeah, I
down
don't know
there.
if it's AI or not. I just laughed my ass off of it.
That's
I was
fun.
like,
Probably
I
AI.
want to ride an alligator, damn it.
Not putting your. I don't know. I did swim. Maureen knows I swam with the gators. Yes, at a place called Wakulla
Did-
Springs, Florida. You can't. I don't know if you can still do it, but back in the '90s and the '80s, we swam with the alligators. It's a horrible place to take the kids, y'all. Don't do it. Okay, don't. I question my motives of my parents for taking us
I've
there.
got to make a
Yeah.
I got to make a trip to Nylands with my buddy Chris to do some gator wrangling, for some money, and then I got to go down to Florida to do some gator wrangling down there, and some python wrangling while I'm down there. I was like, man, I get to see you guys and make money. I'm down. Hell yeah,
Oh my God.
I'll go fish me some gators and pythons. I'll
Gator
eat them
tastes pretty
too.
good too. I like to eat gator. I don't mind gator
Snake
bites. Yeah,
Snake's good too. Can you imagine how much meat's on a python? I'm down to trying it.
python. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't eat pretty much eat anything if I was hungry. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Man,
So-
when I fell into Chattahoochee, when I was stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, I got in some trouble, so I was put on trash detail. And during trash detail, I was setting bake lines out. So I'm out there along the Chattahoochee. And if y'all don't know, Chattahoochee's a daggone clay pit with freaking water that flows through that stupid thing. It is slicker than a booger in during allergy season. I mean, you just gone. Well, my butt falls off this limb, and there's this big old gator on the other side of the damn river. I'm trying to climb out of this muddy bank. Can't climb out of it because I'm just slipping. And all of a sudden, that gator decides, hey, there's a dude in the water. Meat's back on the menu, boys. And decides to start coming at me. Finally, after one guy stopped laughing his butt off and realized it was me and not a gator, he helped me out before that thing got to me. That's about my extent
God.
of swimming with gators.
Oh yeah, that's dangerous. God, that's dangerous. You gotta be careful. Do not swim with gators, y'all, if you don't have to. Okay, please don't. Don't do as we do, or as we say. Just don't do it. Okay. Oh man, Eric, I'm gonna have to run because my dog is barking. She's got to go out. And I did not realize we have already almost hit the 3-hour mark tonight, y'all.
Oh,
I did not mean to go this long, y'all. I just realized it's getting so late. Where can people find your books? On Amazon, right?
Amazon. Amazon.com.
Amazon.
I also got them on audio.
Okay. Wonderful.
So look up E.D. Give me a follow on my author's fan page. Like and comment. Help me get my books out there.
Oh my gosh. Yes, y'all. Please go and support Eric. Look up Author E.D. Testerman and go to Amazon. Go wherever. Get his books, man. And please go over also to the Bizarre and the Unknown on YouTube and on Patreon too. You have a Patreon as well, right, Eric?
Yes, man. I actually have my own webpage now called thebizarreandunknown.org.
Amazing. Go to the website, y'all. And one last thing before we go tonight. I do have some information. If anybody, I know that our remote viewing data suggests that Susan Walsh did pass away, but in case you do have any information regarding her disappearance, please contact the police department there in New Jersey. It is, that's the number right here on the screen and the case number right there. And if anybody has any information, contact the department and let them know. Okay. And I did just want to put that up there just in case anybody watching has any kind of information that would lead to them finding her somewhere. So thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. This has been a wonderful show, very informative. I've learned a lot. I've laughed a lot. I have gone through all the emotions of being sad to ended on a good note tonight. Okay. And I do appreciate that. And thanks to all of our moderators for being here tonight. Everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody who has donated tonight and given super stickers. Nathan, Kent, peanut butter and jelly. That's Jason. And anybody else. I hope I didn't miss anybody. You guys, thank you so much for being here. And Eric, man, when do you go live? You got a show this weekend, right?
Looking at one tomorrow night and then Saturday and Sunday as well. I usually on the Fridays I go live around I almost said military time. 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, but I may have to do this one a little later because she has a live at 6. Then on my Saturday shows, it's usually 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. My Sunday shows is 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. And every now and then I go live when I'm working on a book. So you guys may see it where I just get a wild hair at my butt when I'm working on a book, go live so you can watch me working on it and ask questions while I'm doing it.
A wild hair up your butt. That's actually one of my sayings, but I say ASS. Okay.
I do too. I was
That
being
is so
nice.
funny. You were. Oh my gosh. Well, y'all, thank y'all so much again for being here tonight, and hope everybody learned a little something. And again, if you'd like to see all the data, I have more data that wasn't really appropriate to talk about on air tonight. Y'all can go over to my Patreon and check that out. It's all there if you'd like to see it. And so thanks again to everybody for being awesome. And like Jane says, it Chiro sounds. Good night, everyone. Keep your vibrations high. Yeah, y'all don't live in fear, even though fear can be your friend, right, Eric?
Yep.
Live in awareness.
Your fear can be a great ally.
Live in awareness. Watch your back. Watch your friends' back. Take care of yourselves, y'all, and be prepared for anything out there. And please come back and see me. I will have part of my crew from Operation Skittles here Saturday night. My team that went out to Alabama. We called it Operation Skittles. But they're coming on. I believe I just got a message from Drewski during the show tonight. It looks like he and Brian, some other people, will be on the show with me. Harley Owens will be here as well. We're gonna have a screen full of people. It's gonna be fun. We'll be talking about the infrasound that we got hit with, the werewolf dogman, the Bigfoots, all that. We're gonna talk about it Saturday night. So y'all come see us live and direct. This is for entertainment purposes only. The whole show tonight. Thank you, C. Duke. And
I think I'm going to be live on DA's show Saturday. If memory serves me correctly, I'll be on because of our Joel Bald investigation we did last Sunday.
Very fun. Yeah, that comes on the hour before my show. So we'll go hit up DA's show beforehand. And so yeah, well, I will see you guys back here on Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Be there, be square. And you guys stay safe out there and keep your head on a swivel. I'll see you then. Yeah. Eric, have a wonderful night.
Blessings, everyone. You too. Thank you.
We'll see y'all Saturday. Bye, y'all.